As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand, love the concept, love what they give back, love the community, love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Okay, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today, I have my good friend in my kitchen, my dentist, Mr. Dr. Richard Hada. Thank you for being here. I never really called you doctor before, but it sounds nice, though. It sounds nice, though. Thank you for being here.
Gee, thank you. This is an honor. Like I said, it feels good to be at your home and just see more of an intimate part of you. It's cool, man. This is awesome. This is your life and your family, and I feel honored.
And they're all sleeping still. This is my earliest podcast. This podcast was supposed to start at 8, but Hada got stuck in traffic, which is normal in Los Angeles. But before this, you were just saying how you saw your wife, who is your wife now, in second grade. Amy. Shout out to Amy. She's a badass. She's amazing.
She's the best. Yeah, second grade, man.
That's crazy.
Totally. It's so funny.
So you knew her from second grade, and obviously you became friends, or just continued to go to different schools and reconnected or something?
Yeah, second grade on, she has a little brother. He's 1 year younger and super into sports, and that's all I was obsessed with as a kid. And so he and I became good friends. I was at their house all the time. I mean, there's probably 10 videos that her family has of kids' birthday parties growing up, and I come running around the corner and they're like, Richie Hada, and I'm like in like the video, right? And it's funny that she's my wife now, and we were in the same 4th grade class, had the same teacher, right? And then in 5th grade she moved to Utah.
Okay.
Her dad started a business in Utah, and then I grew up in California. I never moved, same home, everything.
Yeah. And then she came back, obviously.
Yeah, and then we met in college first day.
Met in college first day.
First day.
Hadn't seen each other for years or nothing like that.
Nothing. And she came up and she was like, Richie Hada? And I was like, what? Nobody calls me Richie anymore. And dude, we just became really good friends. Years later, I tried to date her, like went all in and just got denied, like had no shot. I was like so frustrated by it. My college roommates were like, no way, don't date her. And then all of a sudden, she wanted to hang out and we started dating, and the rest is history. And I was all in. 4 kids, 20 plus years.
Wow, man. Amazing, man.
Feel so blessed. Feel lucky. She's amazing. She's definitely my better half. Anybody who meets her. She's
so cool. And we're going to get to this later, but real quick, I had to deal with her because, I got you a gift for Christmas, a cold plunge, and I had to text boss lady and ask her if it was cool, what kind of room you had. We were sending pictures, and then it's the most, I don't know. It's just I never surprise anybody like that because my wife always figures out what I get her all the time, same as my son. But I actually surprised you with a cold plunge on Christmas morning, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever pulled off in my life. And she was so cool about it and so like helpful. So shout out to Amy for that. It was cool,
dude. And that is. I had mentioned years prior that I wanted one.
Yeah, we've talked about it too. When I didn't see you. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
And she's like, we can't put that in our home. Aesthetics are really important to Amy, right? And she's very, very talented in creating just a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Especially our home. I love it. It's beautiful. But she was like, no way we have space for this. But because it was you were able to get it in, and I love it.
And plus the plunge is kind of, it looks nice. It's nice.
Oh, it's killer.
But the thing about the whole plunge is, for the listeners, that was in December, and Hada's yet to try the plunge.
Today, bro. Today.
We're doing it today in my yard, but this guy's really, really busy. I get it. He's got 4 kids, a wife. He's got a crazy, amazing business. So I know you're super busy. Kids are in sports. You're doing all the dad things. But I've been teasing you about it for a couple months, but I think after today, you'll be ready to go.
Look,
it's nice we're doing it together here.
I'm not going to lie. I am nervous. I'm just a pansy with cold water.
But you did it for football.
I know. And I did it every single day in football in college. And I'm just like, what the heck? Why? But dude,
I think it's all that mental for sure.
We're doing it. Let's go.
But you did it back then because you needed it for your body, like icing down and stuff, right?
It was incredible. If I didn't, practicing the next day, you're so tired, your joints are sore, your muscles are sore, everything's tight. And the moment you would do even a minute to 2 minutes, the soreness is gone, virtually gone. And you're full range of motion, ready to go. You feel so good.
And back then you were younger, you probably like fearless to it. You weren't thinking about it.
Yeah. And then now,
jump in and you feel good,
Yeah.
So let's get to your life a little bit before we get to all the wonderful things you do with people's teeth. Where were you born?
Born Mission Viejo, believe it or not.
Wow.
Parents still live in the same home, born and raised in. I get
so
to
cool.
practice like literally where I grew up, which is so dang fun.
Parents still together?
They are.
That's amazing.
They get home from Italy today.
How many years they've been married for?
50. Goodness, I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad.
That's good. 50 is good.
Mid 50s.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, Amy and I say if we're like half the people my parents are, we'll make it.
That's amazing.
They're amazing people.
That's awesome.
They're amazing.
You have a tight family. It's awesome. What about siblings? You have siblings?
I'm the youngest of 4. I've got an older brother, Ron, in Utah. Older brother, Dave, in LA here. He's up in Agora Hills. And my sister, Barbie, is Utah as well. And so I'm the youngest of 4.
Wow. Are they all into different things than you, obviously?
They are. I'm kind of the black sheep. I'm the only one who went dental. My dad's an accountant. Ron's an accountant. Dave's an accountant. And my sister married an accountant. They're kind of all into finance and money, and they're all a lot smarter than me. I ended up choosing dental, and I love it.
Yeah. How are you? How are you growing up? How was growing up for you?
To be honest,
How were you as a kid?
I had just kind of a great childhood. Yeah. I loved growing up in Orange County, man. I I really liked sports, and in Orange County with the weather that we have, I just got to play sports year round, whether it was soccer, basketball, football, baseball. Everything. I got to play everything year round all the time. I got into skating. You can skate year round. I got into surfing and snowboarding, and like the beach is right here. The mountains are an hour plus away. And it just created such a fun youth and childhood. My dad was my coach almost all the time, and that's why I try to be my own kids' coaches, because I have such good memories, like game planning with my dad the night before and tournaments and all this stuff.
Was he serious about it? Was he strict about it?
Yeah. He's a fantastic athlete. He grew up in Bellflower. Okay. He and my mom are high school sweethearts out of Bellflower.
Amazing.
And he was a great athlete in football and basketball and baseball. And, I just loved that growing up. That was, I think, majority of my youth was just outside running amok, right? Playing sports, skating, surfing, just everything we could do outside. I'm not a big video game guy.
You were always outside. You weren't playing games.
I was always outside. Just.
What about golf or like tennis?
Yeah, golf I picked up a little bit later. Golf is humbling, really humbling. I really like it. I'm kind of waiting for one of my kids to get into it, because every time I golf, it takes like 6 hours to hit a round, and it's just hard to be gone with 4 kids for 6 hours.
It's very chill. It takes a long time. It's relaxing though too. Yeah,
it is. It's cool.
I played a couple of times. You have to have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's like for more retired people, maybe, or people. Maybe not. I don't know.
I enjoy it. Yeah, one day. Hopefully one of my kids will get into it a little more.
But skateboarding, when did that start? Super young?
Yeah, you know what? My older brother Dave really got into it when I was young. He was maybe junior high, and that's when full Bones Brigade came out. Best. And like we had Bones Brigade 1, 2, and 3 in our house. We'd watch it all the time. I was like 5 or 6. I think the first skateboard I got to get a Vision Psycho Stick, the mini Psycho Stick.
Yeah, I remember those.
I was so fired up on that thing. Just so fired up, having my own board, got to do the grip tape and just chasing my brother around trying to skate like he did. I never could. He was always a better skater than me, of course. But, and then that kind of led into the whole new school generation that happened in junior high and high school for me, right? When like the boards changed, but still skated.
Boards got smaller, right? Maybe?
Yeah. A lot skinnier, a lot smaller, but like really fun to skate. That was like a fun time as well, just because skating kind of died for a bit, and then it had quite a resurgence.
It became more street, right? Less ramps.
For sure.
Were you skating ramps back then too?
Dude, I was young. I was 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. So like I was like dinking around, but I never charged. Like my brother Dave was a good skater.
But you still have a mini ramp now in your yard.
We do. Yeah. We got a mini ramp. We actually changed it to our best friend's yard.
Oh, you moved it? Okay.
When we had when we did the addition on the home, we had to change it.
And make room for the cold plunge.
Yeah.
So now the ramp's out. You don't have the ramp anymore.
No, but we still skate it. We're over at their house a bunch. Their kids love it. They have kids our age. It's awesome. So yeah, kids are still skating it.
How were you like in school with grades and stuff? Did you do good in school?
I did. So school, my dad's full Japanese, right? My mom's
awesome.
Mainly Swedish. Both
That's
born
a cool mix.
here.
Wow, Japanese and Swedish. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And school was always really, really important in our family.
Yeah.
That's probably, other than just being a good person, that's probably what was taught and emphasized the most. So yeah, school was always a big deal for me early on. My siblings are all really smart. And so it was just kind of expected that you had to do well in school, right?
Yeah.
That's just
Your
how
parents
it was.
were strict about the grades?
They were, yeah. But they were also helpful, right?
Yeah,
I needed help. I've always been one of those kids that it never came easy. I had to work hard to like get good grades. But they were really helpful. But it was definitely, you grew up with this sense of you need to make sure you get good grades, right?
Yeah. And then you really focused on football though. That was like a main thing for you, right? That's what you really wanted to play.
Yeah,
out of all the sports.
Yeah, I just loved ball sports, right? And when I was young, I got obsessed with the NBA. I thought I was going to be the first Asian in the NBA. I would tell that to everybody from 3rd grade on. They're like, what do you want to be? First Asian in the NBA.
That's a good goal though.
And I read a book on Magic Johnson, and he would like dribble a ball to school. And so I told my parents, I was like, I'm walking to school, and I would dribble a ball to school, home and back, just because like Magic did it, I have to do it. And I just became obsessed with basketball. And then in 7th grade, my parents allowed me to play football. And I remember coming home and I'm like, football's the best. And I just loved it.
That was it.
Yeah. I just absolutely loved it. So other than like, having a great time with friends and skating and surfing, football definitely was my number one sport and love.
You played free safety?
I did. How do you know all this? This is amazing.
And then you recruited by a bunch of like D1 schools, right, as well?
I had some recruiting, yeah. And I was just really set on going to BYU, and I never got looked at by them. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hang it up and get myself to BYU, start my education, go on a mission for my church.
Yeah, you went on a mission, went to Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, went on a mission.
For 2 years
Costa Rica,
or something.
Wild, 19 to 21.
That's crazy. By yourself?
By myself. You go to a foreign land, learn a new language. It really is transformational, where you are going to a place and the whole focus isn't about you. You're there to serve people. Yeah. And it's
so amazing. What is the mission? Is to help people.
Yeah, it's to help people, and then our message is talking about Christ. And we, anybody who would want to listen, awesome. If not, we're there to serve the people of Costa Rica. And what just an amazing people, like absolutely beautiful people inside and out. The culture, the food, the land is, it's got 13 different climate regions. Yeah. And it's the size of West Virginia. So you like go 1 hour and you're in a rainforest, another hour a dry forest, another hour a cloud forest, and it's like different vegetation, different animals, different insects.
The black sand beaches.
Yes, it's cool. Wild. That place is so dang cool. It's unbelievable. And to live there for 2 years, and then the people are like as good as you can imagine. That country is just wonderful.
So where do you live with a bunch of people that are from the church?
Yeah, so you have a companion, and so you're going around kind of 2 and 2, and then I lived all over the country. From the south to the north to like the city, and like the proper cities, like kind of gnarly, right? Yeah. Like any big city. Yeah. But then you're out in like really deep rainforest where it's super poor. Then you're down in like a cloud forest. You're in something called a dry forest. And crazy. It was just, everybody dirt floors. If you saw like tile, never saw carpet, didn't see carpet for 2 years. It's the first thing I did when I got home is I just laid on the carpet, and I was like, I haven't felt carpet for 2 years.
You probably appreciated so much coming back.
Totally.
Yeah. It's so good to go there so young and see the world like that.
Yeah. Like just what it does mentally for you, and realizing the importance of service in your life.
Yeah. Is your whole family religious?
Yeah, for the most part.
You grew up going to church and all that stuff, and
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And so that was something. Did anybody else in your family ever do missions like that, or just you?
You know what? All of my parents didn't. All of my siblings. I had a brother go to Washington, another brother to Spain, and then a sister to Texas. So kind of wild, kind of expected within the Mormon church. Yeah. I don't know about expected, but like definitely wanting, but it was great.
Did you try to play football when you came back from that or something?
Yeah.
And you made it on the football team, right?
So, yeah.
You came back to it?
Yeah. So
you must have been missing football. It too. Yeah.
I was. Yeah. Dude, I'm such a meathead at heart. And
you don't even seem like that. Yeah, I know.
I just love it. And so I was back at BYU.
Yeah.
I would like go to games and watch it, but it wasn't like my enjoying watching the game. I was just like longing to be out there.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to study hard for dental school. So I was like, I can't do that. And then I get married. Amy and I got married really early. I was a junior in college and undergrad, and for about a year she was like, you talk about it so much, put your money where your mouth is, go out and walk out for the team, or walk on for the team. Come on.
Yeah.
And shoot, I walk-ons were like in a couple months, and tried to train and get my speed down and get my strength up and stuff like that, and they said I could stay. So
you played 2 seasons there, right?
So I played like I played that fall and then into spring, and then I got into dental school a year early.
Okay.
And I could have stayed, but dude, I was behind a couple guys that were probably on the track to the NFL, and they were amazing. But got to the point where I got to kind of scratch that itch, and it felt so good to get out there and run around and be a part of the team. It was something that I just really, really enjoyed.
When did you give up on your basketball dreams?
As soon as I touched a football. Once I had football practice, I was like, dude, what have I been missing? And my parents wouldn't let me play tackle till 7th grade. But then once I did, I was just like, oh, game over. Football is amazing. And so I just loved it. It's one of those things, for whatever reason, just clicked, and I loved everything about it.
Yeah. And so why dental school? Why did you grow up did you enjoy going to the dentist as a kid?
You know, what's so funny is, not being inside a lot and being outside.
Yeah.
I broke so many teeth.
Yeah.
Broke so many teeth.
Yeah. How'd you smash your teeth, the first ones?
So
it's all one shot, isn't it?
No, yeah, multiple times.
Okay.
But I remember the first time a buddy, Michael Stowell, was over at the house. I tossed him a football, and he was on the other side of the room, and I'm protecting the bed, and I said, bet you can't make it to my bed. and I was third grade, I think. Wow. I think we were third grade or fourth grade. And he came running at me, and Mike's a phenomenal athlete. And I dove at his knee, and his knee hit me straight in the forehead, and it caused me to bite down, and sheared my tooth in half.
Wow.
And that was the first time. And then it was every month, my mom, I had another chipped tooth. And so when I had braces, when I was 16, the doc's like, hey, you have too many broken teeth. After we're done with this, you've got to go see a cosmetic dentist. I can't pull them all together and make them look good. You're going to need more work. So I had braces. He aligned everything. I went to my dentist, and he's like, hey, there's these things called veneers where we can build your teeth with porcelain. Super strong. And so I had to wait till I was more grown. You can't get that until your body's developed a little bit and you finish growing. And so right before my senior year, I got them. And it was life-changing. I've always been a pretty happy kid. Everybody would be like, oh, you're smiley, you're happy. But nobody has ever complimented me on my smile. And so as soon as I got the veneers, I remember the first time I got them that day, and I ran to Ralph's because my mom needed something for dinner. And I'm in the checkout stand, and the lady is checking the food, and she's like, you have the most beautiful smile. And dude, for a 17-year-old kid, what that did for my confidence. And it was I was getting that every day. Wow, you have a beautiful smile. Not oh, you're happy, but your smile is beautiful. And just, it made me want to smile. It made me want to show off this asset that I now had. And it just it gave me confidence. And I remember going back to the dentist and saying, hey, you've changed my life. I'm interested in dentistry. You got me interested in dentistry.
Wow.
And I was 18 at the time, and he's like, clear your schedule this Friday. And he and his wife took me out to dinner for 3.5 hours, and he convinced me to be a dentist. I was 18.
That is incredible, man.
So grateful for him. He's down the street from me.
I was going to ask you where he is now.
He's amazing, phenomenal dentist, wonderful colleague and mentor. And
what was your goals before that? Was it football before that?
No, I always thought I'd go into accounting and business. That's what everybody in my family did.
Yeah,
and I was I could do business. I could do, do something, figure it out. I knew I didn't want a desk job. I've got I'm kind of a high energy. I need to be active. And, dude, once I saw dentistry and he convinced me, it was I really didn't look back. It was just, I was 18.
It's crazy at 18 too. Yeah.
Right. Totally. I remember coming home to my parents, and I was like, hey, how was dinner? Cause you're at dinner with your dentist, and they were like, how was that? And I came home, I'm like, I'm going to be a dentist. I'm doing it. And they were like, what? Are you serious?
Were they supportive?
Oh, they were super supportive.
Yeah.
They never pushed me into anything other than they were like, hey, good grades only opens doors. Make sure you get good grades. And then the more doors are open, the more opportunities you have. And so that was really the mantra kind of our family is just make sure you get good
What about
grades.
Religion? Were they strict on religion for you too?
It was definitely something.
Is everybody religious in your family still? All your siblings?
No, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, there's, let's see, 2 of them are not.
Okay.
And then one of them is. My parents are still pretty religious.
Yeah.
They're my absolute, my siblings and my parents are some of my favorite people in the world. They're such good people.
Yeah. Parents are good.
Yeah, the parents are so good. But anyway, yeah, their religion was always something that was taught. Family time was really important to my parents. Once a week, they try to gather the family.
That's nice.
It's hard to do with 4 kids.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Dinner time eating was sacred to my mom.
On point every day.
Every day. It's hey, you get home this time. I don't care what you're doing with practices, with this. We're home. We're eating as a family. And that was just
structure.
Standard.
So important. Yeah,
and it was cool. Everybody checking in on life, on hard things that happened at school, on, we're just talking as a family.
Before phones were like
100%.
Yeah.
And so, we're in the heat of that right now with my wife and our kids, trying to just figure out how do you do that? How do you get the kids together every day? Balance it. And like, that's something that's important to us is,
because you got 4 too, just like your parents. It's crazy.
I know.
So balancing work and family and even like time with your wife and then with the kids and then all the sports they're doing and then your mental and physical time, all that. Obviously, you wake up early. You went to the gym already today. That's like your every day of a schedule where you work out first. It's smart, yeah.
It is. I feel for whatever reason, getting the heart rate going in the morning, I'm a better person because of it. The energy that I have, the ability that I have to give myself to more people.
Yeah.
It just, if I'm like run down, I have a hard time doing it. And for whatever reason, getting the endorphins up, lifting heavy weight, running, sprinting, like all of that stuff just gets,
for sure.
I feel fantastic. I feel like I can take on the world. So
yeah, especially seeing you in the office, you're going like from room to room and like checking on all the patients and stuff. You have to like be ready and
totally
be focused and be there, present and everything.
Yeah. And that's why I think I resonate so much. I love your PMA, man. Dude, you are the master of PMA, and that's something that's really important, right? Nobody wants to know if I'm having a bad day. So you got to, dude, it's positive mental attitude, regardless of the day I'm having or like what's happening at home. You got to push through.
No. Keep that smile, pretty smile going on your face. No, it's true. Just to make the patients feel comfortable.
Totally.
That's the thing. One of the people hit me up about, like, making people comfortable to go to the dentist, because for me personally, I was always scared of the dentist. I had terrible teeth growing up. I had terrible dental because my mom was raising 3 boys on her own after my father passed, and like going to the dentist wasn't a priority, and she wasn't really keeping up on her hygiene. So I had crazy, like, all those old school mercury cavities, and got rid of those throughout my life. And then thanks to Ryan Kingman, I met you. Shout out to Ryan Kingman first and foremost, man.
Kingman's the best,
connecting
right?
us, man. We're both rocking those dance socks right now.
You know it.
But he's the best. He connected us. And I always had a fear of the dentist. And so once I started going to see you, just going in there, just the whole vibe, the energy, the people, everybody's so nice and friendly. Everybody's talking to you, and then get to lay back and put the headphones on and watch TV on the roof. Just watch some Netflix. All that stuff helps because people have such a fear of dentists.
Dude.
Probably more than doctors. Like,
totally.
I don't like getting needles or blood taken. I'm full of tattoos, which is strange, but the dentist specifically has always been something that's, I don't know. But now I wake up early. I come there at 7 a.m., wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and we come down and see you. Max goes surfing. I would never thought in a million years I'd be getting up there early to go to a dentist. But yeah, it's just, it's you, and it's how you treat your patients. It's really important.
Gosh,
do you know what I mean?
Thank you so much. I had a really good friend, my best bud, Kylan Lundeen, challenged me to change the way people think about dentistry. And it's like, hey, why do people hate it? Why do people hate going to the dentist? And it's like, you have to make it a memorable experience. And he pushed me so hard to think of it like that. And to hear you say that is so flattering and so kind, because we've worked really hard to make it a place where it's safe, where they know we have your best interest at heart. And it's a place where we want people to want to come back, right? And it's so common to be like, hey, I hate going to the dentist. And everybody feels like that, right?
I know.
So the bar is kind of low, because the moment you can create a good experience for your patient, then it's crazy. They're like, what we found is you'll leave and you'll be like talking to a buddy. He'll call you right after and you're like, hey, where were you? Oh, I just went to go see my dentist. You got to meet my dentist. It's like, it's just spreading like wildfire. And so we've been so
it's
fortunate
all ages
with that.
who are scared of dentists. It's not just
oh my
kids.
Gosh, 100%.
It's grown adults like me. It's like people who maybe had traumatic incidences growing up and going to dentists, whatever kind of treatments they got throughout their lives, and then they carry that into their adult life, or just young kids first time going, like they want to be like, because it's the sounds and the smells and the taste and all that. It's
totally.
Like,
it's
crazy.
Yes, an unknown guy coming at you with a mask, with these big loops, with gloves, with, everything about it can be a little scary. And so I think
traumatic for people.
Traumatic,
probably.
And it can fully stay with you throughout life. We see it all the time.
Yeah. Is that something they teach you in dental school, or that's your personality?
They don't talk a ton about that. We saw it, I saw it immediately once I started seeing patients. And you definitely don't want to inflict harm or nor do anything that increases that fear of the dentist. And so having that be a main focus of what we do and how we do things, it just kind of has evolved into how we do dentistry. And we try really hard to make it a great experience.
Yeah.
And to exceed people's expectations. That's what we want.
I mean, because you had that experience with your dentist. I mean, he pretty much took you out and inspired you to become one. So it's like you trusted him. He made you more confident with your smile. He fixed your teeth.
Yeah.
You got compliments. It made you more, not like you were insecure, but you wanted to smile and show your teeth. And that changes everything, especially as a young kid too.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're already insecure as it is. And you're going through changes and then
for sure
you're not happy with your teeth. And
yeah.
So some people didn't even get the chance to even fix their teeth. So that was, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. So how many years are you in dental school? Like what's that process like?
So it's 4 years undergrad.
Okay.
I ended up doing it a little bit. I just got lucky and got into dental school a little earlier.
Yeah.
And so it's typically 4 years of dental school and then 4 years of undergrad, or excuse me, 4 years of dental school. So that would be 8 in total. And then if you want to specialize, whether there's a bunch of different specialties within dental, and then it's another 2 to 6 years after that.
Wow.
And so it's minimum 8 years up to, you can go almost 16. You could do quite a bit afterwards.
Are you just in school during that time, or are you also working?
So you're in school the whole time. It's just too much to try to have a job as well.
Were you loving it at first? Was it hard? Was it scary?
It's funny. I loved, hands down, because I really knew this is what I wanted to go into. Dental school was amazing. I loved definitely getting into treating of the patients. That's when I was like, dang, this is awesome. Like, everything that you had learned and worked towards, and then actually being able to apply that, and then seeing difficult cases and watching, their lives change and the benefits of good oral health, and seeing their health overall change is so rewarding, knowing that you're giving somebody that gift and that ability to live longer and better. And that is awesome. And once I got a taste of that, I was like, dang, this is such a cool field. I just love dentistry.
You remember your first patient?
I do. Yeah.
Was it a friend, or was it like, what do you practice that on? Like, how do you practice that? I know people practice tattooing like on like melons or oranges, different kind of skins, but like they don't do people yet, but like the first person.
So we have this thing in dental school called a sim lab, where year 1, you're practicing on basically like a mannequin, right?
Wow.
That's all set up. And then in year 2, you actually get to see patients. You start really, really small, like small fillings, cleaning, stuff like that. And then by year 3 and 4, you're getting your hands wet a little bit more, so to speak. And it was so funny. You always have to, in sim lab, have a mask on.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there working on these teeth and like preparing the teeth, like it needs a little filling. And then I wouldn't grab the water. I would just like put my mask down and go, whew, just to like blow the air off. I'm so used to doing that. Dude, first patient, she's sitting there. You don't have an assistant because there's 50, 60 kids in my dental school. We're all in different bays and like people are around. I go, I prep the tooth, and then I put my mask down and I lean in really close and I go, and dude, she backs up. Her eyes got big and she's like, what are you doing? I was going to like blow off her tooth with and go, because I was so used to doing that. And I was like, oh my God. And I just started laughing. I was like, I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry. And we just got a good laugh out of it. Luckily, she like thought I was going to kiss her or something.
Yeah. That could have been bad.
Could have been bad.
Wouldn't be a dentist right now. That's yeah.
But anyway,
that's crazy.
Funny story. But just you start small and work your way up like anything. I went to Arizona for dental school. It was a great school. I loved it.
So you lived out there?
Yeah. We lived in Gilbert, so kind of southeast Mesa or southeast Phoenix, and it was warm. It was hot. Our 2 girls were born during dental school.
Oh, so you moved out there for dental school the whole time?
Yeah, I was there for 4 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and my wife got into physician assisting school. She got her master's in physician assisting, and that's why we went out there. She's a PA, and
that's cool.
We started the same time. Hers was like a 20-month program, and mine was... No, hers was like a 30-month program, and mine was 4 years.
How is Arizona? Like, it's like a total kind of culture shock going from Cali to there. It's so different, isn't it?
It is. And just the heat, the desert, brutal, man. The heat. I ended up loving it. My wife, not as much. It was harder for her. She was like,
there's no ocean out there.
Yeah, she's like, I want to get back to California, and I'm so grateful she did because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
But yeah, It was good. The school was like a really new school. I was a third graduating class. We'd become accredited and kind of had different views on how to do dentistry, and I loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah. So then you get back, and then you open up the Hada Dental. That opened up in 2013, right?
Yeah.
2013. Damn, it's a long time.
Yeah, it did. So a couple years off from, being a dentist, but working in different offices. I was really...
So you started working in offices back here?
Yeah.
Okay, you came back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Good friend that was actually a Sunday school teacher, had a great practice in Fallbrook in San Diego.
Okay.
And he invited me to come out and worked with him for a couple of years, but we wanted to be in Orange County. That's where my family was. That's where we were always coming back every weekend. And so I looked at probably 50 offices and then ended up landing on one, just luckily got in contact with him through a buddy that I surf with.
Yeah.
A dermatologist, and he linked me up with a doc literally probably like a block from my house.
Wow.
Like from where I grew up. It's the same stores I remember riding my bike to, and right next to Burger King, all the stores we'd go and skate near when we were kids. It's like right there in downtown Mission Viejo where I grew up. And I started practicing there, and I realized just how special that was for a kid who grew up in Mission Viejo to
amazing,
be right there. It was like, my high school coaches started to come. My teachers started to come.
Wow.
The principals. I just saw my little league baseball coach. He came to me. I haven't seen him for 35 years.
That's incredible.
He coached me for 2 to 3 years. Loved him as a coach. It was so fun. He came in. We talked just for an hour just because we were just catching up on life. And being able to do that is just, for me, really special. I love it. Being able to see those people that helped me and formed me into who I am, and I feel so much gratitude for them, my coaches, my teachers, my colleagues, and then being able to like give that back and be a part of a community. I love it.
How hard is it to like open up a dental spot?
It's tricky. Definitely starting from scratch. I met 2 docs that were wanting to retire.
Okay.
And so I came in, I worked for them for 1.5 years, and they were like, hey, this is working well. Do you want to buy us out? And so I had to go to the bank, get a loan.
Wow.
And then it went from like their office to then overnight, January 1, 2013, Hada Family Dental was started.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
And from then it's just
huge.
It's been awesome. We've expanded. We moved locations. We expanded. I've got 2 partners now where we help other offices across the country. We've got probably 35 different offices across the country that we help and manage and teach and train. And it's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
And it's, building a brand. It's also like the merchandise you're wearing. You have all this amazing merch because you also love probably streetwear, about all the different brands growing up, Supreme, all that stuff. And then then you make your own merchandise, and it's like high quality merchandise. I don't know if there's any dentist in this world that has better merch than you. It's just like high end, nice hats. Just everything you make is just because you love probably fashion and clothes too. Like
I always
being
have.
a skater, surfer, everything. Yeah.
I've always been into
sneakers,
fashion,
all that stuff. Yeah,
sneakerhead for
You're a sneakerhead,
sure.
right? Yeah.
Yes, and which thank you so much. You've hooked me up with so many great sneakers. But yeah, it's something. Garrett Turk, shout out to Garrett.
Turk.
Love him. And Garrett's one of my best buds and just an amazing human. But he challenged me. He and I went on a run. We were on a trail run early on when I just had Hada Family Dental. And he's like, hey, you need to think of this not as a dental office, but as a brand. And you need to brand this because your experience is good. People are talking about it. This needs to be a brand. And I mean, there's nobody better than Garrett with that, right? He's just incredible at that. And these runs that we would go, he's helped so many different companies take that next level. And
it's a good challenge.
And he definitely helped me. He was like my mentor in that. And to this day, we'll still go on runs and we kind of check in, and dude, he's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the logo for the Hada thing on the hat that I have, that I wore in Rich Roll, and somebody tried to make a comment like, how's this guy punk rock wearing a dentist hat? That was my favorite comment I ever said about my whole entire life, because I didn't take it as a diss. I was like, you should be like proud to represent your dentist. I don't know, it's interesting, like you don't see people really rocking like their doctor's merchandise. I don't know, it's interesting because it's a brand, man. It's crazy.
Dude, thank you so much.
But it's also it's you, and it's what you represent, and it's like the quality of work you do on people And also the merchandise too, it stands up as well. You know what I mean? It's like it's the whole package. You're the whole package, Hada. But you know what I mean? Like nobody's really rocking their dentist merch unless do a lot of dentists make merch?
No, they're starting to. But it is something
you said
where
it all first.
I don't know about that, but it's something where Garrett definitely pushed me, and he was saying, "Hey, look, when you create a good experience, people will want to share about that
and support it." Yeah.
It was so funny. It started not by me wanting to make merch. It started by I'm a competitive person in general.
Okay.
I just love to
Still?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Because you played in some football thing recently.
I'm crazy competitive.
Okay.
Too competitive. And so anyway, with my team, we always do these stupid competitions, and we were having like trying to get healthier, and we're having this like water. We wanted to drink more water.
Nice.
And so I told everybody, hey, I'll make cool water bottles, right? Miko was big at the Miko. Is that what it is? Mizu.
Okay.
And so started at the time making these really cool water bottles like Volcom was doing, but put Hada Family Dental on them.
Nice.
Made, I think the minimum order was 50. So my team at that time was like 15, gave some to family. I had 20 or 30 left over, and I would always give patients, when they would refer new patients in, I'd give them 2 movie tickets and then write a little note saying, thank you so much for referring.
That's cool.
Mr. Campbell. Like, that means the world to us that you would think of us. And I'd put it in the mail. And
awesome.
Anyway, a lady was in, and I hadn't written her card yet. So I went up and I gave her 2 movie tickets and just said, thank you. And she's like, hey, I don't want the movie tickets. And I was like, oh. And she's like, I want one of your water bottles. I was like,
wow.
What? You want a water bottle that has my name on it? And
That's
she's like,
so
yeah.
Cool.
And then literally everybody I would write the letter to, I'd give them the option. Do you want movie tickets or a water bottle? And the 30 were gone in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Everybody wanted a water bottle.
That's so cool.
And then it was like, game on. I'm making hats. Let's make tees. And being into apparel, loving a good brand and loving streetwear, I wanted to make quality stuff. I didn't want it to be something that got to the bottom of the drawer or anything like that.
You actually want to wear it and it's comfortable. Yeah.
Totally.
So people buy merch at the office?
They do. Yeah. They can come in and that's now
so cool.
The merch is when they refer patients, it's like, hey, come pick out a sweatshirt, a beanie, a hat, a water bottle. Like we've got a good little collection up there, but yeah. And then they'll buy it. They want Christmas gifts or something like that. It always has like, we got to make sure we're stocked around Christmas. People want it as Christmas gifts, which is such an honor to me. I never knew that would happen. Like not in a million years. And it cracks me up. My wife still is like, what in the world?
I mean, because you basically, it's building a brand. It's building, it's like.
And it's like guerrilla marketing. There's not better marketing than like, wait, that's your dentist?
Yeah. You rocking dental merch? Yeah. Even people ask me about how what does that mean? Oh, it's just Hada. It's a dentist. Yeah, it's interesting. And also your clientele, man, it's all kinds of athletes, musicians, surfers, skaters, everybody. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's been
barbers.
Yeah, you know it.
You know what I mean? Like
all of my barbers are obsessed with you and H2O, man. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, it's just such a cool, diverse. Like there's so many people that you, so many friends of mine that go see you and all walks of life, and it's cool, man.
Thank you.
A cool group of people that come see you.
It's such an honor.
It must trip you out too, because you are a surfer, you are a skater, and you have all these pros coming in there and all that.
Oh my gosh.
It's gotta be surreal. You're getting surfboards and all this stuff. Yeah.
No doubt. It's so funny. I try to make it seem like I'm not going to fanboy out too hard.
Yeah.
But like I'll, after I see a patient and they, I get all fired up when they come in, I'll go in the back room like, hey, was that too obvious? And their girls will be like, yeah, that was pretty obvious. I'm like, dang it.
I love all the girls here too. They're awesome, man. They're so nice and funny. They always come talking to me, saying hi, singing songs, listening to different music in there, come by to say what's up to me and stuff. Yeah. Like, what are you getting this time, Toby? Like, I don't know. Everybody's just super nice and outgoing there. It's definitely like a family vibe,
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, that's totally, yeah.
I love that word of family, right?
Yeah.
Because family can extend to just not your own family. And I love your lyric about family, right?
Yeah.
And so your friends are your family. And
100%.
I truly feel that, this is an area that helped raise me and I wanted to give that back. And I feel like I'm a part of Mission Viejo and treat them as family. And that's what I hope patients can feel.
Yeah. It must be a lot too, just to balance all that. And like, how many people work there?
We're up to 26.
Wow,
so
man.
It's kind of, it's big. It's a bigger entity. Definitely causes, the bigger it is, the more stress, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
Anything. But I have such an awesome team that make it doable. And I love going to work when I go on vacation. Like I love being with my family, going on vacation, but I genuinely miss coming in, and I love being at work. Right.
Yeah.
I love coming home and seeing all of them and telling them what we did and finding out about their lives. And
are you trying not to be on your phone when you're on vacation? Is it hard to shut it off and just?
It is. Totally.
I mean, you're running a crazy business. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to be available for people. That's something like I give every patient my cell phone.
Wow.
And that's, hasn't gotten, like, patients don't abuse it.
Yeah.
But you want to be there for them because, like a toothache is terrible, right?
Horrible.
When you have a toothache, you can't think of anything but that.
Especially on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And have to wait till Monday or something.
And so many of those happen.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want patients to have to go through that. So that is something that my wife, she'll be like, hey, you need to like get off the phone. You need to stop.
She'll check you on it. Yeah.
And it'll be really good. And I've got great docs at the office. Dr. McCoy, who you've met, is amazing. Yeah. And she's been a huge help in bearing that for me.
How do you deal with all the stress? Obviously you surf, you work out, you like to grill meats. You got woodworking stuff you do training. So you balance out, you get all your stress out by being active.
Yeah. I think just since I've been a little kid, I think activity is like the number one thing. I try to be really active. The older I get, the harder it is to push your body. And I think trying to push your body in a way that is uncomfortable is something that I've just grown to love. And it's something where, like, Saturday morning comes, I don't have to be at a baseball game, so I'll wake up early. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do Murph. And like, that's where you do, like, you wear a weighted vest and then you run a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and run another mile.
It's called a Murph?
Yeah.
And how heavy is the weight vest?
20 pounds.
Okay.
And you just do it for time. And the goal is you always beat your time.
That's
and
cool.
it's I'll try to do something for like a half an hour, that's just a really hard workout. If I can't surf, I mean, if I can surf and if there's waves, like 100%, I want to be out in the water. But those things have been really good therapy for me to get the heart rate up. Sometimes I'll go on a long run, and just kind of the hills behind where I live in Ladera Ranch are kind of sacred to me, because whether it's family problems, office problems, life problems, the stresses are getting to me, I'll like go do these long runs in those hills, and like inspiration that comes, thoughts that come while I'm out in nature seems to always be when I like get glimpses into what I feel I should do. Yeah. Right. And it's like, so I just love those times. That's when I really feel I kind of get recharged.
You make time for yourself. It's important. Yeah. Balance it all.
Yeah. Soon to be cold plunge.
Yeah. Cause you see, you want to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah. That's
totally. And that's what I need to do. And I've been just,
you still smoke and grill meats? That's like something we love to do.
Dude,
what does that mean? Smoke and grill. What does that mean? Smoking.
So there are,
we're going to talk about cooking meat right now.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering because there's some of the notes I have about you. Smoking and grill. What does that mean?
Yeah. So grilling is mainly just doing it on your barbecue.
Okay.
Right. With direct heat. A lot of smoking is indirect heat.
Okay.
And so you're using the smoke, and it can get, the temperature in there gets hot enough, but it's keeping the meat at a certain temperature and doing a lot of slow cooking. And then the smoke infuses a certain flavor. That's great. And then it's just knowing the difference of that. And I love doing that. Like, I'm not good at cooking. My wife is a phenomenal cook, but I've just kind of delved deep into grilling meat. Yeah. And I love it.
You can make some Impossible Burgers for me?
Oh, 100%. Let's go. Dude, I love Beyond's and Impossible Burgers. They're so good.
And then what about the woodworking stuff you do? What is that? You used to do it?
Yeah, I was really into Legos as a kid. Loved like forming things. And just to this day, like my kids have always loved Legos because I love them.
That's cool.
I think I do more Legos than my kids now. I like still love them. My kids will get them for Christmas and I'll help them put them together. Yeah. But anyway, it's as I got older, a guy on my street has an amazing woodworking business, Right Woods. He actually did our kitchen for us just this last year.
Nice.
He's a great friend, and I worked for him. So I just fell in love. And it's kind of like Legos for adults, right? Getting into a room and being able to like, all right, how are we going to install this cabinetry? And you're building and putting it together.
You're pretty handy with stuff, handyman.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just, as business has gotten busier, I do less and less. It's just been harder. And then the times that I do have at home, I'm just want to be there with my kids and be attentive and kind of all present. In with them. Yeah. And so I feel like I'm doing less as I get older, but it'll definitely be something that I do more and more. The more free time I have as time goes on.
Is your dream to like coach high school football still? Is that your retirement plan?
I love that you know all this.
Is that your retirement plan?
Dude, my number one job, if I could do anything, it would be, dude, I'll be an assistant to the assistant. I don't care what That's cool, though. I just love.
You couldn't do it now because you're so busy, but retirement's kind of cool.
I love what sports teaches you. I love having to push yourself past new boundaries, doing something hard, right?
Cold plunge.
And so that's something that I think I would love. That's definitely, I coach.
It's definitely your passion, your heart for sure. Yeah.
And then just the older I've gotten, just the mind game of football and understanding like what they're running, what they're playing, how to defend that, how to beat that is really fun to me.
Did you ever want to stop being a dentist? Like got burnt out doing it or?
No, I haven't wanted to stop. I have wanted to like grow as a dentist, and that's really been the biggest thing. I think once Hada Family Dental took off and more people, like, I think more than anything, what fires me up about dentistry is having people say like, you've changed my mindset on what dentistry is.
100%.
I no longer fear dentists.
I'm one of them.
That is more exhilarating than anything.
Breaking stereotypes.
Right?
Yeah,
and
100%.
So once I got a taste of that, and then that's what I want to like take to the world. That's what I like want to help other dentists do, and creating an environment, a team, a system to help change the mindset of people's vision of dentistry or like what they think dentistry is. Like that's so exciting to me. And that's why we help those other offices, and we're a part of that. And I've got some partners doing that. And that's taken more and more time as more docs have come on to be a part of that. So
looking forward to it, not dreading it, going to the dentist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I look forward to like hanging, seeing everybody, and then how I feel after and how everything looks and all that stuff. But so Hada is like cosmetic. It does implants, root canals, right? Veneers, everything, right? You do it all.
Yeah. We're kind of family general dentistry.
What's the difference between all dentists do the same, like general dentist, like family places like yours, they all do the same thing? It's different.
Yes and no. Each dentist, being a general dentist, you can actually do everything based on whatever training you got. I can do as much oral surgery as I want. I could do as much cosmetics as I want. It just, you got to have the training for it.
Yeah.
But a general dentist typically does, you're doing cleanings, you're doing routine dentistry, whether it's fillings and crowns and making a denture, or my practice, because of my love for, I think, Legos, and I've always done art. I've like loved to sketch and draw to this day. I still sketch and draw and paint. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I really got into cosmetics.
Okay.
And so started doing veneers, what I had done for me, right? Which was so powerful. Started doing that early on. And I've kind of focused more on that. And with that has come doing implants and doing other specialty, but kind of focusing more in cosmetics for me.
What's the difference between a veneer and then just like a crown or something? Like when you shave my teeth down from my gold crowns, or just a regular crown for anybody that has a cavity, what's, for the listeners, like what is a veneer? What is that?
So a crown goes over the entirety of the tooth.
Yeah.
So you have to reduce a tooth enough that you now have either the tooth is worn down or it's compromised because it has a big filling.
Yeah.
And so you now have to put a cap or a crown on that. And it's typically reducing the tooth circumferentially and also where you bite. So basically is a cap that fits on the tooth. And once it's bonded and done properly, it's stronger than your natural tooth, and you can eat on it, floss it, brush it, feels just like your tooth. And then a veneer is done just on the front portion of the tooth, mainly done for cosmetics. There's a myriad of benefits with strength and function that come with veneers as well, but it basically typically doesn't go to the back of the tooth. If it goes to the back, that would be termed a crown. When it's just really the front, it's a veneer.
Interesting.
And that really can, that's what happened to me. That's what I had 6 of them. So the back of my teeth are real. These front 6.
They look great though too, man.
Thanks, fam.
And so what is the cause for an implant? Why do people need implants?
Yeah, implants. So when we lose a tooth,
it just dies or rots or something.
Yeah, either we can get a fracture in it. We bite something, it fractures. That fracture goes through the root. We need to get it out. One, it gets infected. We have to get a tooth out.
Yeah.
There's great ways to save teeth, but when you can't save a tooth, an implant allows us to extract the tooth, treat the bone so the bone is healthy, and then implant a titanium or a porcelain, it's called zirconia, implant into the bone, and the bone will adhere. You get osseointegration where the bone's integrating into the surface, and it's as strong as a natural tooth. And then you can build off of that a crown. And so you can do single tooth restorations, right? It used to be back in the day, you'd have to do a denture, right? And give somebody who would take it in and out. But now you can fully restore teeth. And it's like a game changer for people, right? People that have had dentures forever, or they're used to taking their teeth in and out, depending on where they lived, that was really popular. Now they're like, wait, I can keep my teeth in my mouth. And then you get better bite force. You get better ability to eat and chew your food. And then with that comes a myriad of
And you're drilling
benefits.
Right through your gum, right?
Yeah, you actually go through the gum into the bone.
Whew.
And so you create a little, basically like a pilot hole, and then that gets widened exactly to the shape and size and position of where you want the implant.
So crazy.
And then the implant is torqued into your bone, and the implant surface is treated so the blood adheres and kind of grows around that quickly. It takes 90 days for full osseointegration, but when it does happen, it's solid.
Wow.
It's wild what the body can do, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Just, it's amazing.
What about root canals? What causes root canal? Why do you need root canals?
So root canal is if you get a fracture that doesn't go through the tooth but into the nerve, needs a root canal.
Exposed nerve,
Yep, exposed nerve, or if you get decay that gets into the nerve.
Okay.
And it's funny, decay it's a disease process that starts in the tooth that doesn't come with a lot of symptoms. Like when you have a cavity, very few people can feel a cavity. It's when that cavity gets big that people actually feel cold sensitivity, sweet sensitivity, hot sensitivity, or biting. But by that time, it's pretty darn big. A normal cavity, people don't feel at all.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they're like, hey, my teeth are fine. I brush them. I'm good. Life happens. I don't get to the dentist.
Yeah.
If that cavity's brewing in there sometimes for months and years, it can get quite a bit deeper. And then that's when, if it gets into the nerve, you've got to again go in there and treat the nerve. And then we seal that with a material called gutta-percha, and then you can restore the tooth from there.
Yeah. We've been putting all kinds of things in my mouth lately when we're doing my teeth. There's all different tastes and smells. Will that get any better in the future? Do you have hope that it'll be like a bubblegum flavor or just some sort of, because it's just so, you're always like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, dude.
It tastes so bad.
And you're not going to really change. I'm sure it's changed throughout the years, like the smells and the taste of all that stuff, right? They're trying to make it better. They're trying.
It is. So the interesting thing about dentistry, the better we've gotten the chemistry of dentistry and how to actually bond to the tooth.
Yeah.
The moment you add flavors or anything, any artificial flavoring, or even natural flavors,
causes cavities. I'm just kidding.
It actually changes the chemistry of it.
Okay.
So that's the hardest thing. Cause dude, 100%, if you can get like a filling restorative material that tastes good, and patients, like I just saw a kid yesterday, a buddy's son, who he kept asking me, do I have to taste it again? You know, we have all these contraptions on how he doesn't taste it, but inevitably you're going to taste a little bit. And he's just like, I hate the taste. And
it's just crazy that they haven't figured that out yet, or somebody can come up with it.
There's some brilliant people in the world. I would love to see dentistry move there, because I think that would change the perception of people's view on dentistry. It wouldn't 100%. Be as fearful, right?
Yeah, it's just like the sounds and like I just got tattooed recently with a tattoo machine had no sound. And the first time in my life, I was like, wow, this is kind of easy. But for me, the sound of the zzz of like the tattoo machine makes it more stressful for me and scary for me. So without that, I was just, wow, this is so easy. I was getting my neck tattooed and it was nothing. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? The sound.
Yeah.
So if you could get rid of the sounds, which is probably hard to do for the dental stuff, but maybe first the taste and the smell, but also I want to say for all the people out there who think they're like 100% vegan, it's impossible to be 100% vegan if you go into the dentist, because I'm pretty sure that most of that stuff has been tested on animals.
A lot of it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it has.
So there you go, listeners. I'm not a perfect vegan, but I want to have nice teeth. So you can't avoid, it's impossible to be perfect, let alone be a perfect vegan. Yeah. But I always wanted to talk about that with the dentist. Like, yeah, all that stuff's been tested somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I can't avoid the dentist because I love animals.
Yeah.
And
like a lot of it's tested on extracted teeth as well.
Okay.
But the testing process for dental materials and getting that approved and going through, it's pretty extensive.
Wow.
Right? Where they do a lot before it actually goes to market.
So the stuff that's going in my mouth is probably not vegan. I mean, there's no animals in it or dairy or...
No, definitely.
It's definitely been tested.
There's
on
nothing like that.
Definitely probably tested. Maybe not.
You know, I've actually never looked into that. So
we get a good question for Hada.
Get MDS sheets, which shows us everything that's in it, everything that's in every single material that we use, and then also how that's been tested. But I'd
like to know. I'm interested.
Totally. I'll look.
Because I've always said that about like people trying to be perfect vegans. Like, it's impossible. Like, I'm flying on airplanes with leather seats. Like, you do your best.
Totally.
Is what I'm saying. But like, you have to have a nice smile.
Dude, I love your commitment to that, by the way. I love that. And then, dude, straight edge vegan. I think it's so cool because you truly live your lyrics, and you've been like that for so long. And
thank you, man.
Dude, you are a leader.
I do my best. I'm not perfect, but I do my best. Yeah.
It's rad. I love it.
Okay, now so the first time ever for this podcast, I put a post out. Send me your questions. It's never happened in the history of this podcast. I've never done that. Probably never do it again. But it's cool because you're a dentist, and this is like, you're going to be the first and last dentist I ever have. You're my boy, so you're my friend.
Dude,
so this is the ultimate dental podcast episode. And real quick, just a guy I know from back in the day who transformed his life. I think he's vegan. He's straight edge. I knew him throughout the scene back in the day. I posted about this, and he sent me a DM, and he sent a book for me and you called Transform Dental Sleep by Jason Tierney. The step-by-step guide to doubling your sleep patients, increasing physician referrals, and simplifying processes and improving your life. It's really interesting. I didn't get to read it yet, but I'm sure Hada's going to read it faster than me. Pretty cool, though. I don't know what this means, but maybe it helps you with your sleep, having good dental.
No, it does. So what's getting really popular now, airway and breathing and sleep and how that's connected is so important for overall health.
Okay.
And we're seeing what that is doing, and the lack of proper sleep and the lack of proper airway.
What do you mean by airway? What do you mean?
Getting oxygen in. So
while you're sleeping. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
So typically while we sleep, when you lay back, your muscles relax, right? Your tongue muscle falls back and it closes your airway. And that's where snoring comes from.
Okay.
Right. And then if you're not getting enough oxygen in, your body will actually wake itself up. And that's where kind of snoring happens, and wake itself up. So then you can and then you'll gasp for more air.
True. It's scary.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Some people like die in their sleep, or like not die, but they're like, they don't die and they come back. But I heard people at night that they stop breathing for split seconds or something.
100%.
Like yeah.
So we do sleep monitoring at our office, and you can go home with a little monitor set, and it lets you know exactly how many apneic episodes we're having, where you're falling asleep and then your body's waking yourself back up. And when that happens, you can't get into deep sleep, and all the reparative functions for our body, right, is in our deep sleep.
Yeah.
REM sleep and deep sleep is really important to allow your body to get into.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that sleep is huge and people aren't getting enough. And a lot of it's because of airway. It's narrow palates. So there's a lot of early intervention stuff. Julie at my office and Dr. McCoy have kind of been leading that push, and they've been awesome at doing that. But it's dental sleep, they call it, but it is sleep is really, really, it's like a hot topic right now.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one of the questions, sleep apnea and what it is, and what's a dentist's role in identifying it and treating it. Yeah.
Yeah. So one, it's getting, and there's telltale signs, right? There's a way your tongue is scalloped. There's a way your cheeks look as well as your gums look. That lets us know if you are a mouth breather, if you're sleeping on your back.
Wow.
And then we'll know you are one that has sleep apnea and you're not getting proper rest. And then, those are the ones we talk about. Let's go and do a sleep study.
Yeah.
And then it's amazing to see. We've had people literally get, like, the sleep study is saying 80 times are getting woken up at night. Like,
wow,
that's what their body is doing. That's their
I
response.
like to check mine. That's interesting, man.
And they just can't get into that deep sleep. So because of that, you get a myriad of inflammatory issues. And there's so many other things that your body takes on because of the stress of not getting sleep and being able to repair.
So important, man. Yeah.
And so that's what this device here is really cool, because you wear it top and bottom, and it holds the jaw forward. And when it does that, it opens up your airway so you can, at night, your tongue and your muscles don't fall back and constrict. But even when you're sleeping, you have full airway. And I've got patients all the time that, like, you'll do that and then they'll start wearing this, and it's like goes from 80 to 15 apneic episodes into the single digits, where they're like, I have so much more energy. I wake up, I have such a better mood. I don't get nearly as mad. I'm not as irritable. It's like,
it's crazy just sleep, how important that is.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
How's your sleep?
How
many hours you get a night? You seem like you go to bed pretty decent and wake up super early. Are you in bed before midnight, obviously?
As I've gotten older, I need to get more sleep. My wife tells me that often, but I get to bed. You
get like 6 hours?
Yeah. I kind of average 6. A good day, I'll get 7.
Wow.
But I'm typically 7 to 8 is always a goal. If I'm on vacation, I'm getting 7 to 8 for sure.
We need 8, right? That's what they say.
Yeah. And the body, it's funny how the body will just learn and adapt. And I'll go on vacation now and I'm like totally tired, but I just wake up. I'll wake up early because I'm used to waking up early.
Yeah.
And
you can't sleep in really anymore?
I can a little bit.
What's sleeping in for you, like 7 or something?
Yeah, maybe 8 or 9 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But now I got kids jumping on the bed.
I know.
I got all that stuff. And I want to stay up late to help my daughters with homework.
I know.
Talk about a date they just went on or something.
Wow,
all that stuff is big for me. So I need to improve my sleep. But I sleep really well. I don't snore.
You don't I don't snore either. Yeah. I do grind my teeth, and I never had a night guard before, but I definitely stopped grinding my teeth. I would do it more on tour back in the day, I think.
A lot of that's a function of stress.
Yeah, when I wasn't home away from my wife back in the day, I would do that.
Yeah, the more our body is under stress, one of the ways we deal with that is we will clench and grind at night. We can get our jaw in positions that aren't even natural during the day. And that's when we see like really irregular wear patterns, or we'll get tooth pain, and tooth can break and fracture. But yeah, really, really common majority. It's like 60 some odd % of adults are active grinders.
Grinders?
We clench and grind during the night.
I know, it's pretty gnarly. I used to wake my wife up with it too. When I come home from tour, I'd still have it in me a little bit, but then it just go away. It's interesting. I haven't done it in years.
Yeah. If it starts back up, we've got certain devices that help a ton. Mouth guards are great.
Yeah. I have more questions. Just research that's supporting oral health's connection to overall systematic health. Yeah,
definitely. We're seeing the connection between healthy gums and also unhealthy gums and teeth. And because that's kind of the first defense, right? If we have a lot of bacteria and a lot of inflammation in our gums, that has led to a host of other problems throughout the body. And we're finding connections now between heart disease and lung cancer, lung disease. And there's just a myriad of inflammatory issues.
Okay. It's scary, man.
It is. Yeah.
And then obviously poor hygiene leading to the increased risk of stroke or heart attack. You just said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's all connected too. How about the impact of tobacco? Like not smoking it, but just for oral health. I don't know what that means, but maybe like your teeth. I don't know. Staining your teeth. I don't know. I know coffee stains your teeth and.
Yeah. So tobacco when it's chewed, right?
Oh yeah. That's what he means probably. Yeah.
So if that's what it is, the biggest concern with that is that works by having a little pouch, right?
Yeah, in your lip, yeah.
Yep, and then it creates little shards. It creates little cuts in your lip, and that's how you're actually getting the nicotine through you.
Nicotine high through, yeah.
And so what happens by constantly doing that, typically you have like an area where that's where you always put your pouch.
Yeah.
And we've seen by constantly having that abrasion there, it leads to a higher increase in oral cancer.
Wow.
And so that's the biggest issue. And then smoking, of course, is just always keeping a dry environment in the mouth. Smoking doesn't allow the natural moisture and saliva and all the factors that help. And that just, it festers with bacteria. And
crazy, man.
Yeah. So
what about receding gums? I had issue with that my whole life, probably from brushing too hard, I think.
Yeah, you can get receding gums from brushing too hard. You can get receding gums from not visiting the dentist enough.
Not flossing?
Yeah, you can get bacteria traps. That bacteria is microscopic, right? And it'll trap below the gum. If it stays there too long, it becomes an irritant to the bone. And so the gums inflame, and that's why they'll like bleed when you floss.
Yeah.
But when that's happening, the bone is trying to get away from the bacteria, so it starts to recede. And that's when the recession happens. So just flossing regularly, brushing regularly,
but not brushing too hard too.
Exactly, not brushing too hard. And it's funny, patients will sometimes think like, hey, I want to get a medium bristle toothbrush. Like they'll ask me for it, and that's terrible. You're supposed to be soft, supposed to be extra soft.
I like extra soft. That's what I use.
Yeah, that's like the best. And it's just the mechanical motion, the stimulation of the gums, but also cleaning the bacteria off the teeth and the gums. Is so beneficial for long-term dental health.
Yeah. So there's two ways for receding gums. There's like surgery you can get, probably pulling your gums back down.
Yeah.
And then what I got, which was like cosmetic, where they put something on it and glued on there, what they put on my teeth.
Yeah. There's kind of a bonding agent. Yeah. To kind of cover the exposed portion of your root.
Yeah.
And then that will help the recession from increasing. It still can increase there, but it'll act as a strength to the tooth as well.
What about electric toothbrushes versus regular toothbrushes?
Huge fan of electric brushes.
Yeah, you got me one. Thank you. My whole family has them. Thank you.
Yes, I love it.
Should we shout the brand out? They sponsor you? What is it?
They're really so good. The Hada Family Dental.
All black ones? Ooh,
yeah, so Sonicare is amazing.
Sonicare, yeah.
Sonicare is great. Oral-B is fantastic. Burst.
Oral-B still around? Okay, I know Oral-B.
That's what my wife likes. She doesn't like Sonicare. She doesn't like the...
I'm sorry, Amy.
But yeah, Burst, there's so many good ones. The greatest thing about them, to be honest, there's a timer on each electric toothbrush.
Yeah.
And
which I haven't used. I got to do that.
Most, you click it on.
Yeah.
It'll turn off in 2 minutes.
Okay.
And so a lot of people, you need to brush for 2 minutes. All the studies have been done around 2 minutes where that's proper cleaning is happening at 2 minutes. And so that's one of the biggest benefits is it's allowing you to really get in there and brush until 2 minutes.
But it doesn't control how hard you're brushing.
The new brushes do. They're wild. You push too hard. And
so the ones that have do that. Okay.
Yeah, you have to like set it up a certain way. You push too hard and it'll like make a beep. It's crazy.
I need to know that.
It's wild.
Because I'm probably brushing too hard. What's the difference between grills and caps and crowns? Obviously, we know crowns are just crowns, but you can get gold ones or porcelain ones. But for grills and caps, for the listeners.
Yeah. So grills, definitely kind of a resurgence of grills recently.
Really?
They kind of got really popular in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, not as much. And then now they're starting to come back. Excuse me.
It's all good. Yeah, they are coming back, huh? Yeah.
They are. Yeah. And typically a grill is something that you can remove. It's something that is, it's almost like an art piece, right? And so a mold is taken of the tooth, either digitally or with an impression material.
Yep.
And then you can form, whether it be gold, diamonds, white gold, platinum and palladium, all that's used into creating whatever the person wants.
Yeah.
And you're using high noble metals, right? Precious metals. So that stuff, you're typically using real diamonds. You're using stuff that is nice, and they are pricey.
Yeah.
And it is something you typically don't eat with them. They are removable. It gets uncomfortable to eat. Your bite's functional with it, but you don't like eat on it because stuff can get up and underneath.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah. I had gold caps back in the day. We used to go to this place called Gold Cap Charlie's on Canal Street in Manhattan. Me and all my friends, they were like $35 to $40 gold caps. Me and a couple of my friends. We had fangs. We had all these things. Yeah. The early 90s hip hop.
Yeah. They're fun, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it seems like the gold, the fronts and everything's coming back. There's so many spots doing that now too. It's super popular, right?
It is. And to be honest, gold's fantastic.
I was going to ask you, what's the difference between regular gold and then dental gold?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you. I just came up with it.
Okay.
It's not my notes.
So the carat, typically you're like, hey, what's a carat for a ring or a necklace or something? It's 24 karat is what a lot of people want, right? Typical gold, the carat is anywhere from 10 to 22. Average is about 16. You do need added metals. You need palladium, you need some silver, you need some.
What's palladium?
It's a high noble, like platinum.
Okay.
Platinum, palladium, gold, silver, all like the really good, what we call high noble metals.
Yeah.
They're all used in dental gold.
Okay.
And then depending on the amount of gold that you use, there's like 67% gold all the way down to 20% that your doctor can use.
Yeah.
That changes the appearance of the gold, but also kind of the softness or how the gold will work in the mouth. And one reason gold is so good is it mimics the same softness as enamel.
Wow.
And so it does a really good job. It wears really well against natural teeth.
Mm-hmm. That's so soft. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can seal that really well to the tooth. And it's not proven, but I know gold is, a lot of people like it. It's not anything that we can take into our systems like a supplement, right? It's inert. It doesn't work through the digestive system, but it's believed that in the body, it helps with anti-inflammatory, mood stabilization,
gold.
Yeah. Blood circulation, that high noble metals, especially gold, can have that benefit. For thousands of years, this is believed.
So what about does it change my breath or anything like that? Could it make my breath smell weird having all this gold?
If it's not done properly and there's areas of bacteria that trap, yes, that can be a cause of bad breath. But if it's done properly, which is our.
Yeah. And what percentage of gold is mine? Do we know?
So we went high. We always go 67. Yeah.
And do I need to be brushing my teeth when my teeth are all gold? Like how is me brushing with toothpaste on a gold tooth help? It's not my tooth.
Yeah. So the tooth can still get a cavity, believe it or not. And it's the interface from the gold to the crown, from the gold to the tooth. So that margin where the gold and tooth come together, it's sealed, but microscopically the bacteria, if it's left there too long, can create a cavity, even if it's below the bone, below the gum.
Would that take a lot to do that? Or is it pretty easy to get a cavity still?
No, it takes a while.
And I'll know if I have a cavity underneath it?
Yeah. I mean, that's why we do x-rays once a year. That's why we always take a look and you get an exam twice a year, just because that's what we're looking for. But a typical gold crown is going to last you 20 to 30 years without getting a cavity under it, with proper brushing, proper flossing, seeing the dentist, right? Yeah. It'll be decades that'll last. Because
I was wondering if I need like some like kind of shining stuff you use on a car for my gold teeth instead of toothpaste. What are the potential hygiene issues? You just said it basically for the difference between grills and caps. Yeah, you said it pretty much. You can take the caps off, you can clean them off, put them back in your mouth, but the crowns are forever. So it's like floss and take care of them,
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier too, like how dentists can reduce the patient anxiety around the visitings. But we talked about like having a more welcoming situation. The TV's on the roof for me, and putting the headphones on I like, or just wearing AirPods and just zoning out the sound of all the stuff in my mouth. That helps. Also having a good dentist and good team too, that helps. Make you feel comfortable,
Thank you. 100%. And I think shout out to Kylan Lundeen, who has challenged me on this to like, hey, you've got to find a way to rewrite the psyche of dentistry, because many people are so nervous about coming to the dentist. And sometimes it's as easy as having a little conversation of like, hey, Toby, thanks so much for coming in today. We're going to do a crown. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to put a little bit of topical up there. We'll first get you numb. I'm going to wiggle your lip as we do it. You'll hardly feel anything. Once it's numb, this is what I'm going to do with the tooth. This is about how long it's going to take. And I'll go through everything. Be like, hey, we've got Netflix, noise canceling headphones. We've got a blanket for you, a pillow, anything you need. Stop. You're in control. Let me know what you need, when you need it. We got you. Any questions, let me know.
Yeah.
And if you could just have that conversation and be, real, like it just alleviates so much stress for patients, 100%. Right? And people in general.
Just a conversation. Yeah. Let them know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And some people will be really honest and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't go back more than 30 degrees. Please, can you do it standing up? Can you do this? My feet get cold or my feet get sweaty? Can I take off my shoes?
Wow.
Like, all these like little tweaks that we can do. And then patients are like, that was amazing. That was cool.
Hey,
that was
options.
So good. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like trying to do the best we can to serve them. and then trying just to change the game on dentistry with them.
Are there people that have to be put under to get their teeth done?
Yeah. And it's so common. It's so common.
Even for teeth cleaning?
Yeah. So dental anesthesiologists are so common.
Wow.
So we use 4 of them at my office. They're great. They'll come. Patients aware you can't drink anything beforehand. They'll go ahead and put them into twilight or where it's funny. They'll be out, right? They won't remember anything, but you can say like, hey, Mr. Smith, turn your head to the right. And he'll like move a little bit to the right, open a little bit more. And
that's cool.
So he can still respond like that, but like zero memory of what we're actually doing at the office.
That's crazy.
And so we've done full cases where I've like literally done almost every tooth in the mouth. You know, they've been under for 4 hours.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like, hey, we need a lot of work. I'm terrified of dentists. This is why my teeth look like this. This is how we're going to do it. And
they wake up all numb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where am I?
Yeah. You're numb. And then they actually wake up in their house, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they can't get back.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That mental alertness until they wake up on their couch or on their bed at the house and everything's done.
I saw a video of somebody recently. They're doing that with tattoos where they put you under, then they tattoo your whole entire back. But I saw a video the other day. It's like this guy has 4 dudes working on his back and then 2 guys putting gold teeth in while he's unconscious.
No way.
I'll send it to you. It's crazy. So fully tatted and getting gold teeth at the same time. It's crazy, right?
Maybe we'll call Dan. Hit him up. See if we can combo.
That'd be so crazy.
Do a little collab.
What's the difference between the teeth whitenings you get done at the office and the ones you do at home?
Oh, great question. Biggest difference is just the
cost, obviously.
The cost and the strength, right? Over the counter, they can by law, they just can't put the same material and the strength of the material in the over the counter whitening. Great thing, it works. Yeah. Everything works. But where like Crest White Strips,
it takes longer doing it at home.
They give you 20 upper, 20 lower. You've got to do all of them 20 days in a row. Or you can come to the office and get it done in an hour and a half. You're going to get the same result. There's a higher cost with that. But like, dude, my girls that are teenagers, I just have them do the Crest White Strips at home. I'll remind them and be like, hey, got your braces off. This is how we're going to whiten them.
Yeah.
And it's great. So it works. It totally does. It doesn't increase your rate for cavities, keeps your teeth strong. You're actually whitening out the impurities that get set deep into the tooth.
Okay.
And so whitening works from the inside out. And that's how we're actually whitening the teeth, is it works into the tooth and intrinsically is whitening the tooth.
It can be painful for people too, right? They're sensitive.
It can be. Yeah. With real sensitive teeth, it can be painful for sure. And so there's certain techniques that the doctor needs to know as well as a patient, and they might not be a candidate for the one in the office because that's a little bit stronger. They might need to do the at home.
I had it before. I was sensitive to it for sure.
Yeah, and then for about a day you get those zingers, right? Like
quick shocks.
Yeah, the shocks where you're like, what?
What about braces versus Invisaligns?
Dude, another good question.
People still do braces?
They do. Yeah. I did braces on both my girls.
Okay.
So they got braces and Invisalign.
Are they better now? Are they less painful for people? Or are they same kind of?
Everything's better, like hands down. The material, the bracket shape and placement, the bonding agents. Great thing about braces is it's fixed to the teeth. And so it's kind of hard to mess up.
Yeah.
Right. The worst thing about them is one, aesthetically, if you're an adult, it's hard to have like silver braces, right?
Yeah. I see people with them though. Yeah.
Totally. And then also keeping your teeth clean. It's harder because it's just more area for bacteria to get trapped, and you really got to be on it with braces.
Keep them on for 1 year?
It's anywhere from like 1 to 3 years. Some cases even 4 on like bigger cases. Dude. On those airway cases we were talking about with really like condensed small palates, it can be 2 years in childhood, 2 years in like their teenage years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then we'll get it to a point where it's amazing. But then Invisalign, it's awesome. It used to be it would take longer. Now the technique is so good with clear aligners. We use Spark and it's fantastic, but you have to wear them. You have to wear them 22 hours a day is what studies
But for how
show.
long? The rest of your life?
No, you just wear them for the length of your treatment. Sometimes we're treating.
Somebody said you had to wear them the rest of your life, but keep.
So you'll wear them at night as retainers forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Forever, ever.
Forever. So that's, the people know that when they get them? For the rest of your life?
Oh yeah, I'm really clear because it is.
That's a commitment, though.
It's a commitment. It's an investment. Braces. It's either way is $6,000, $7,000. I want to make sure like we're honest with everything up front. And if they don't want to wear retainers, I just want them to know that relapse is a real thing.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about veneers. Like, veneers are like the new boobs for people. They were saying like it's a new thing people want to get. People really focus on their teeth now. Back in the day, it's other body parts, and now it's just really having a good smile.
Yeah. And it's something that
which is good because that's a healthy thing.
It is. Totally. And the amount of confidence one can get from that, right?
Like you had when you were a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Which like, there's some people that like, we've done it where a lady has come in. She's like, I always put my hand over my mouth when I smile. I don't like the way my teeth look. And it was like, I don't have to do that. Do you know how liberating this is? Like, I feel like I always have makeup on, she says, because my teeth look beautiful. And I was like, oh, that like just
touched so nice.
Me, right? It's amazing. Yeah. And she's in her 60s.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can really functionally, you can change their bite, restore their bite. A lot of, aging happens with our teeth, wearing down of the teeth.
Yeah.
And the crowding of the teeth. And so restoring that helps so much with the aging process of just kind of rolling back the years for patients.
Yeah. I've seen some crazy veneers, cool stuff that people are doing.
Yeah, it's rad. There's so many good docs out there. Many good doctors.
What about like the bedazzled kind of thing that some people we know have, like they'll like glue like a diamond on their, is that okay? Is that healthy? Is that hard to manage? Can it pop off with floss? Like
it can definitely pop off.
Does it last long?
Some of them can. The way we're going to get the strongest bond is by isolation. And so sometimes if you're at like a mall and he's trying to isolate that tooth and saliva gets on it, or it's hard to do without loupes, right?
Do you have to like drill a hole in the tooth and put it in there? No.
It doesn't. You just like, you etch the tooth, you kind of clean it, and then the bonding agent. And then right after that, the bedazzled jewel or the gem.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
pretty trendy still.
It's cool. I actually just had a friend who's a barber come in, and he has LA on his canine.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a Dodger LA, right?
That's sick.
It's hilarious because huge Dodger fan, grew up in LA, and he every time we take an x-ray of it, it comes up as just, it's radio opaque, so it's really white. So you see the x-ray and then you see a huge LA.
That's cool.
Anyway, it's cool.
So it's engraved. Sure. It's engraved on the tooth, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. What about Listerine? Is that okay?
Mouth rinse is great. Listerine,
Max needs some right now, actually. Good morning.
What up, Max?
Just brush your teeth.
Appreciate
good morning,
you.
Max.
Appreciate you coming in here with your teeth brushed.
So yeah, the Listerine's still good?
Yeah, it is. Listerine sometimes can have a heavy alcohol base. It can be more, and that can
so from straight edge, you can't use it then?
It can just be more drying.
Okay.
Yeah. And so some of them don't, but that's the one thing with Listerine is you just don't want mouth rinse that is super drying for you. But
what about the benefits of charcoal toothpaste?
Yeah, wow, that got really popular like probably 10 years ago, and it's just kind of grown.
Yeah. My wife has some. She comes out, her whole face is teeth are all black and stuff.
Yeah, it's black, right?
Yeah.
And so charcoal is a really good, charcoal has the ability to clean naturally. Yeah. And so using that is good. There isn't, the toughest thing, there's not a ton of data right now on like some of the things like charcoal.
Yeah.
But I've used it. I like to try everything.
Yeah.
I like to try it and see. But I think it's a great way to go. And it's been used forever, right?
Yeah.
Like there's cultures that have done that for ages. So it's awesome.
What about fluoride?
Fluoride is a hot topic. It's definitely one that's divisive.
Okay.
Right. You have people that hate it. That just the word is like, don't you dare. It's like,
So as a dentist, what's your take on it? Not playing either side, just like your experience with the fluoride, I guess.
Fluoride helps.
Yeah.
Right. Fluoride in the right doses in the right conditions is fantastic.
It's in our tap water?
So, can be. Yes. A lot of people that have, reverse osmosis systems and stuff like that. Yes. It's like taken out. But the main thing with fluoride, so the way our teeth, when we get a cavity, the structure of the tooth breaks down.
Yep.
And so on like a really small level, the tooth is made up of a lattice, right? Think of like a chain link fence, right? And that bond where the wires on a chain link fence cross, it's made up of hydroxyapatite. And so when we get a cavity, that bond debonds. You can imagine you take off a lot of the links in a chain link fence.
Yeah.
It's like floppy.
Totally.
Right. And that's what happens with the tooth. You get enough of that hydroxyapatite that gets broken down, comes off. Fluoride has a greater affinity or the ability to bond back to that area, and it strengthens it.
Gotcha.
So given in the right doses, especially in people who are cavity prone, fluoride can be awesome. Too much fluoride, bad.
Okay.
Right. And so just being aware of that, and it's not for everybody. There's awesome things too that are coming out that recently we've never been able to actually get hydroxyapatite on a small enough level for it to be used in the mouth. And now we can isolate it in a way that it's called nano hydroxyapatite.
Okay.
And there's a handful of toothpaste out there now that with nano hydroxyapatite, this breakthrough happened a couple of years ago where it's become readily available to the public. And it's awesome. Okay. Because you're actually restoring those teeth that are breaking down with hydroxyapatite.
Interesting.
And so it's a great way to rebuild, remineralize, and strengthen the teeth, because that's what we want to do. We want to, rather than doing fillings and crowns and all this work, but if you can rebuild it, even better, right?
Yeah. What about gum disease? Is that hereditary?
Can be, for sure.
Because I got pretty good gums, and my brother had some issues, and my mom has it too. I was worried about myself. But so far, so good for me, I don't know.
Yeah. Considering,
can you reverse it by taking care of your stuff better?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And gum disease is tough because you don't know that you have it. People don't know that they have it, right? There are obvious things like, hey, my breath smells or something like that. But many people have it and there's no change in their breath or their odor. And so gum disease can be one of those things that it's like a temporary problem, right? Okay. Like gingivitis is just there, right? And it's something that with proper cleanings, taking better care of your teeth, it can fully reverse and heal and cure. Yeah. Whereas if it's left too long and that bacteria becomes more dominant there, it becomes a chronic condition. And that's what we call periodontal disease. And those are real gum issues because now the gums actually change and it's a chronic inflammation of the gums. And there's a myriad of hosts that we talked about, heart issues, and cognitive issues that come with that. We're seeing like the mouth to body connection now. Yeah. Right. And so because of that, when you have that, it's just not good for all that bacteria to be in the mouth. So there's also things that you can do once you do have periodontal disease or periodontitis, we call it. You got to come to the dental office 3 to 4 times a year. Damn. I have a guy who comes 6 times a year. He comes every 2 months. I have one patient that comes every month. He just loves it. He hated having periodontal disease, gets his teeth cleaned every single month. Wow. And so he's been on top of it. And sometimes it's a little excessive. Like, I don't think we need to. Yeah. But that bacteria, it colonizes and it colonizes in 90 days. So, people with a really high, likelihood of getting gum disease, that bacteria will recolonize and form in 90 days. And that's why we're cleaning the teeth every 3 months. Smart. Okay. To keep that low.
And halitosis comes from bad hygiene?
It can be. Halitosis can come from a ton of things. It can come from bad hygiene. Yeah. Number one. It can cause from tonsillar stones, right? We have our tonsils and we can get these little crypts, and then we get food particles. And they're like these little white balls that get in the tonsils. And they smell horrible.
Max used to spit those out when he was a kid.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, I mean, everybody who has tonsils has them.
Yeah, but those white things, when Max was young, he's always coughing these white things up back when he was young. Yeah. I remember that.
And you smell them and you're like, this is
He would definitely smell them because he was a kid. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, everybody with tonsils has them. And so that can cause bad breath. It's the oral pharynx is actually all connected. So even our nasal is connected. So people with really congested or chronic inflammation in the nose can also have bad breath. And it can also come from your gut. People that have, excuse me.
Drink some Liquid Death, man.
Can I get another one?
Yeah, give me Liquid Death for Hada.
These are my absolute favorite. And I've never seen somebody with a better collection of Liquid Death than you. That garage collection of Liquid Death.
You have a question, insane. Max? Yeah. Okay, get on the microphone.
Yes.
I know you probably didn't ask this. There's a lot of things that go around right now on like TikTok, Instagram, like TikTok Shop, and a lot of people talking about what is it? Scraping your tongue.
Yes, love it.
Okay,
dude.
Everyone knows that's good.
Yes.
But this is my debate. I had this with someone recently. Do you do it after you brush your teeth or before? I said before, so then you brush your teeth after, and none of that extra residue is left like on your teeth or your tongue.
Yeah.
But am I wrong? I don't know. And same with flossing, after or before. I feel like I just want to brush my teeth after I floss.
So I love, dude, those
questions,
are
Mac
great
Morris.
questions. And I love that this is on TikTok. I got to get on TikTok. I got to see like what's happening on TikTok.
On TikTok, dude. Those are good questions, Max.
No, those are really good questions. So first, talking about tongue scraping.
I'm gonna go pee.
That was the next thing that I was going to talk about.
Oh, really?
Can I keep going? Yeah. Yes, love it. Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to talk about, bad breath. So
Max is on the mic now.
Love it. Yes. Let's go. So the tongue is made up of almost like little tiny papilla, it's called, right? But they're like little tiny stalks, and they can trap bacteria. And that's why sometimes you can like stick your tongue out and you'll see like a film on your tongue, right? Mm-hmm. That's just biofilm and bacteria, and that causes bad breath. And so scraping your tongue is fantastic. I like to do it before I brush. I haven't read a study yet on whether it's good to do before or after. Just as long as they're doing it, I think is awesome. And there's plastic ones you can get from your dentist. There's metal ones. There's ones on Amazon that you can get. But it's amazing how many people don't scrape their tongue, even brushing their tongue. A lot of people are like, I don't brush my tongue. It's really, really important to brush your tongue too. And that just helps get that bacteria off. So, dude, I love that because that's really important as far as when it comes to good oral hygiene, as well as the freshest breath that we can have, especially with a man like you.
I've been doing that recently as well, like tongue scraping. I had another question because I keep seeing it on TikTok, and it's weird because everyone's like, this is a myth. This is people just trying to sell you a product. I probably sound funny right now because I'm just like, I sound like, I'm believing everything I see. But there's this thing is called oil pulling.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
I hope you do. So explain, because people are like, this is bullshit. This is someone just trying to sell you something. They're like, it hurts. It's weird. Like, what is it? Because I just don't know. You can't look it up because it's just going to be like a biased opinion.
Yeah, it's actually having oil in your mouth. And so a lot of people will use coconut oil, and they'll put it on the gums, and having the oil on the mouth can actually, it can pull the bacteria out. And it does happen on
like gargle it,
a small level. Yeah. Or just having it rest there. Right. But sometimes you need it there for 15, 20 minutes to like really, really do its job. That's a really, really long time to sit there with oil in the mouth.
Yeah.
It's not bad to do, but you can't do that in replace of brushing and flossing. You can add that as an adjunct, right? And do that with it just to help a little bit and see what type of bacteria that's in the gums can actually get pulled. It's getting way more popular. Maybe the last 5 to 10 years has gotten way more popular.
Yeah.
The biggest disadvantages is when people want to do that instead of brushing. And those are the ones I'm
that's like, a little weird.
You still got to brush. You still got to floss.
I don't know why people wouldn't want to brush. Like after having like oil in your mouth, that's kind of weird. But that's good to know because I keep seeing that everywhere.
But there are benefits to it. But really good brushing and good flossing, mouth rinse, brushing your tongue. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's like my triple threat.
Good to know. Thank you, Dr. Hada.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Max Morse, ladies and gentlemen. What about gargling with peroxide?
Yeah, peroxide's great. Peroxide
is it dangerous or no?
No, peroxide does a really good job of reducing inflammation.
Okay.
As well as if you have like swollen gums, right? Kind of like you'll put peroxide on a cut and it's bleeding. You'll put it on a cut to kind of clean it, and it like bubbles and it fizzes out and it allows that bleeding to stop faster. Yeah. It's having the same benefit in the mouth. So there's not a lot of bad things with gargling with it.
Can you control cold sores from dental?
Yeah. So cold sores are typically caused from a virus, And a lot of those cause from being stressed, like they call them fever blisters.
Yeah, fever blisters, yeah.
It's
not herpes to everybody listening always. It could be these fever blisters, yeah. Yeah,
which is herpes. It's actually a type.
Okay, so it's herpes.
And it stays latent. What was that? Yeah.
Type 1, yeah.
And it ends up staying latent in there, and it can take like being out in the sun. That's why they call them like sun blisters. You'll be out in the sun for a really long time, and then they'll get one on their lip. Fever blisters. So definitely let your dentist know, because there's medications. We can get you on valciclovir, and the moment that tingling happens, you know, when people get it and like that little tingling is happening in your lip and they're like, hey, I'm getting one. My wife gets them. Okay. And once you get exposed to it, you'll always get them.
Okay.
Like, right. And so my wife keeps this medication in her makeup bag, in her car, in her travel bag, everywhere, because the moment you can feel that tingle, go ahead and take 2 of these valciclovir. It basically stops it. If for some reason it's a bad one, there's a paste that you can put on at night that's really, really good. Get it from your dentist. It's fantastic. Triamcinolone is what it's called. It's awesome. They're amazing. And it's this little tiny tube, and you just put it on a couple times, and that reduces it. And then if it does get to the point where it's a blister, because it's a virus, viruses are really susceptible to temperature. Okay. And so that's why our body, like when we get a virus, our body temperature goes up to help kill the virus. So if you come to the office, I've got a laser that will just heat up your lip to like 105 degrees, and it kills the virus.
Wow.
So it's cool. I just like literally, I take a laser and I just go in circles around the cold sore, and it just minimizes how long it's in its active state.
Wow.
And it helps get rid of it. And we do that no charge for anybody. It's like, hey, if you're a patient of record, just give us a call. If we have a chair, get in. It takes us 5 minutes to set up the laser, and another 5-10 minutes just to do that for them.
What about when you're lasering my gums, when we're putting my teeth in? What is that for? You have to pull the laser out for my gums.
Yeah. So it's common if we haven't had orthodontic work or just wear and tear of the teeth, the gums will be at different levels.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And sometimes when the gums...
Because of receding ones? Or just in general?
Sometimes because of receding ones. It can make it easier to trap bacteria if your gums are all different levels, right? And so when we have the opportunity to do gold crowns or any aesthetic work, the more level we can make that. Aesthetically, it's better, but it also allows us a better environment to keep them clean.
Okay.
So that's the main reason. Anytime we can, it's like literally taking a laser and you're just sculpting. Yeah. It's like microplasty of the laser and getting around there to allowing the tooth to be shaped so it's can be cleansable. And that's why when a crown or a veneer is done properly, it can last decades.
Yeah. What about canker sores? What causes that?
Dude, it's so funny. That's still something that we don't know exactly what causes canker sores.
I know.
And when they happen,
call that, I wonder what they call canker sores for.
That's a really good point. I have no idea why it's called a canker sore.
I know.
But it is a canker. It's like super, everybody who gets them.
Anytime I think I have something in my mouth, I think it's a canker sore. I get this little thing and it numbs it, or I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah.
There's like, there's stuff over the counter. That's the best stuff.
Yeah.
I do have, I have a cauterizing agent.
Yeah.
It smells like a barbecue, which is crazy, but you mix it and it smells like you're barbecuing, and then you put it on the canker sore for 30 seconds. It stings like you wouldn't believe. It's literally burning it. It's burning it, but it takes it from its active canker sore. As soon as you burn it, it gets kind of that healing phase. The pain goes away and it gets it immediately healing. But you deal with like 20 to 30 seconds. So you're just like my brother gets them all the time.
Okay.
And he does it, and still he'll get like tears will come. He's not crying, but he's like, dude, this is so, and like tears are coming down.
I think that's the same thing they use for vasectomy. Is that cauterizing thing, whatever?
Oh,
because I got mine and that was in there like this. Yeah,
So this is actually a liquid cauterizer.
Okay. It's not the burn one. Okay.
So it's not.
You know what I'm talking about though. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not having any other kids. I know exactly. Oh, okay.
We've been there. Okay. Same team. Okay.
Been there, done that.
A couple things I read online about my goat. Some people ask me questions about my goat teeth, asking if the natural teeth are shaved down. Yeah. And is it bad to do that? Like if I'm wanting these gold teeth. Some of my teeth have been cracked. Some of them had fillings. Some of them are old. But if we're taking like a perfectly good tooth and putting a crown, is that bad to do?
Yes and no. I mean, definitely. Let's say it's a perfect tooth.
Yeah. Which I don't have any perfect teeth. I don't think we found any.
If the bite's in.
We found maybe my canines are pretty good. Yeah.
But if the bite's good, there isn't wear, the enamel's strong, like, yes, taking that off and either putting porcelain or gold, you can have a deleterious effect. But that being said, the bonding agents are so good now that it becomes even stronger than your natural tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can seal it properly, I mean, it's fantastic as far as a restorative material. Gold or porcelain done properly is so good and can last. It's so strong.
Yeah, it's the best thing.
It is.
People, one of the questions they asked me if how's it feeling to eat or I'm talking, that feels normal. I think maybe the cold sensitiveness I have, it's going away now. It takes a while for that, for sure.
100%. It does.
All my mouth is pretty much gold now, and all my teeth are being ground down, so it's...
Yeah. And some of them
Am I one of a kind specimen that you have?
Dude, I've never done a smile like yours, and I love it. I love it. Seriously.
But also I looked online. It says it's useful against allergies having gold teeth, and it's highly resistant to any oral acid or bacteria corrosion, which is probably true.
Yes. And that's the main way we get cavities is oral erosion.
And does it? If I did grind my teeth, having gold kind of helps because it's not really grinding it down. Gold, can it grind it down?
It's just more malleable. You can over time, over like decades, if like the bite's improper, but gold does such a good job. Such a good job against natural teeth, meaning that the opposing tooth is natural, or against gold or even porcelain. Gold is a really, really good material.
Somebody asked they had grafting done to the receding gums.
Yeah.
It was a miserable experience, and they're wondering like, how do I avoid taking that route again? Like, what's a good option? Just to not have that happen again? That's
a great question.
I mean, just don't really brush too hard, just floss. I don't know.
Yeah,
the basics.
Definitely don't brush too hard because if you get any gum erosion, I mean, it's very common to see that, and those are like telltale signs when patients are brushing too hard. That being said, if they already have the erosion, if it's in an aesthetic area, it's kind of tough to do anything other than a gum graft.
Okay.
They do make, on a couple patients, they make pink porcelain. So I've done veneers where there have been a lot of recession, and when they smile, they show a lot of their gums. And so the veneer, a portion of it will be pink to match, it'll look perfect like gums.
Wow.
And then it looks like a tooth afterwards.
Interesting.
And so there's ways to do that correctly to make the aesthetics look really good, so you don't have to get the gum graft.
Yeah. It says a crown to work to fill the negative space. I don't know that.
Will a crown work to fill negative space?
Yeah, I guess that's what it says.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it can. Crowns are great for that. Let's say you're missing a tooth or something. You can do a bridge. You can put, there's a way to attach a crown to other teeth, and it works fantastic.
Yeah. We got a lot of there's a lot of good questions, man.
Dude, I love that so many people.
So many questions. Yeah.
I love it.
We covered a lot of stuff though. The veneers, implants, crowns. Yeah, for the people listening, for the crowns that I'm getting, I had a bunch of old fillings I've taken out. I've started getting gold throughout the years, and then just really started going for it with my teeth. I never really liked smiling, and I've always had kind of yellowish teeth. I had cracked teeth when the two front teeth have been cracked from microphones for 30 years, getting smashed into. Some fractured teeth, some cavities, and we just started going for it with Hada, man. Now here we are.
We're almost done.
And like next week, I'm getting my last two ground down. I'm actually taking out my X tooth, which I'm in a place now where I realize I don't want it anymore because I have so much gold that I want it to be even. So everything's got to be even now. So I have the four frames in the bottom. I'm going to have the four porcelain on the top. The X is going to be gone. I'll be okay.
It's going to look amazing.
It's going to be cool though. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I've been really mentally focused on it. It's because it's my thing having this tooth there, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. I'm just going to figure out more reasons to come down and see Hada after that. Come skate his room. Or will we plunging at his house?
Yes.
Yes. What is, I think we covered that too. Like your sleep, your daily rituals. Optimist or pessimist? I know you're an optimist.
Optimist, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
I feel it's the only way to live life, right?
Yeah, dude. You've always been like that?
I have. My dad's eternal optimist. He literally does not think bad of anybody or anything. And so having that as an example, and I just think in life, like giving people the benefit of the doubt, right? Life is hard enough regardless of all that. And just being an optimist and giving people the benefit of the doubt.
I've always seen the good in everybody. And sometimes that could be bad for me, you know what I mean? Or gullible or my weakness, but
get taken advantage of.
Totally. Because I'm such a giver. There's a lot of takers out there, but it's interesting. But yeah, people think kindness is weakness, but it's really not. But yeah, I've always been.
I love that. One of my mantras is the more you give, the more you live.
I love that.
And so I love that, dude. That's something I try to do.
Is your faith is still pretty strong as it was as a kid?
It was, yeah.
It's still, your faith is still
it's still really important to me. It's, has my faith been questioned? Have I gone through experiences where I've wondered and had difficult times? Like, of course. And I think you grow. I think Mark Twain said, if you're have the same mindset when you're 20 as you do when you're 40, you've had a life wasted. Is what Mark Twain said. And
that's interesting.
Right. And so definitely my mindset has changed, but I 100% believe in, a higher power. And I love we're very religious as a family.
Church and
we
stuff?
Go to church every week. We have like hour on Sunday where we talk as a family about what we believe and why we believe and who Christ is for us and what he's done. And that's like, it's just important times to, connect with kids and have them think on a deeper level. So it's been important to us, important to me and my wife.
Do you have any major regrets in your life?
I was just talking to somebody about this. What did I say about major regrets?
We can go back to it unless you don't.
No, it's so funny. I don't even know if I want to say it. That sounds so cheesy. But I
say what you want.
All right, all of you jocks out there. I gave up a lot of sports to be able to skate and surf, and I love skating, surfing, and snowboarding. I love it. But looking back, you get like one shot in your life in high school, and these where you can actually play organized sports. It is so much fun. Like, and don't get me wrong, being a parent and seeing your kids go through that is way better than me playing.
Yeah, through their eyes,
I quit sports early on for some sports because I just wanted to skate. I wanted to surf more. And I was like, looking back, I was like, gosh, it's so much fun. And now I'm like reliving that as
through your kids,
as like a kid
and a potential coach.
Totally. And so I love that. And I coach all my kids and like,
but you kind of regret not going for it football wise? Sticking with it?
I always wonder where I could have been.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough as an athlete to be like ever make it to the NFL. That was never, I knew I wouldn't be that good. But like what I could have done in college if I would have played all 4 years,
Yeah.
But then would I not have been a dentist? Because I had to study hard and studying and
you might not be in
was
this kitchen
hard.
right now. I'm just saying, who knows what happened?
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But yeah, I know what you're saying though. Yeah.
Totally.
Like, in the back of your mind, it's there, right?
Yeah, but I don't have a ton of regrets. Lucky to live life where try to do the best that you can, and regardless of what happens, it doesn't mean I make the right decision every time.
Yeah, you're not perfect.
By like no means.
Still learning.
Yeah, 100%. But I think giving yourself that virtue or that like being easy on yourself when you do mess up, and not killing yourself over
your worst critic.
Like trying to get better every day.
Yeah. I know your daily ritual is obvious. You a coffee person? I'm
not. So I don't drink coffee, but
that's why you drink tea.
I love yerba mate.
Yerba mate. Okay. Are you and Huberman?
Yeah, he loves it as well.
Yeah, he has his own like flavor thing.
I've actually never tried that. I just saw his Instagram on that, and
Max just tried it at his house the other day. He really loved it.
Yeah, I actually really want to try that.
I just don't do caffeine, so I really can't do it. But
yeah,
I know it's good for me if he's drinking it.
Yeah.
So you're yerba mate
to a certain level. Yeah.
What about social media? You on social media?
You know what? Maybe that's one of my regrets. I was challenged to do social media early on.
You got a lot of challenges, man.
I know. I got friends that constantly challenge me, and I was like, dude, I don't want to be on that. I'm not gonna. That's weird. That's for like you're being fake. Like, no, social media is such a real way. The amount of patients that come in, they don't look on my website. They're like, oh, I just looked on your social media to learn about you, and
necessary evil.
Instagram, Facebook, right? All of that. It's something that I wish I would have adopted earlier. I'll be totally honest. It's hard for me to be vulnerable, to be real, to like point the camera at me and just like talk about my day. It makes it so hard. I don't know why I'm like so in my own head about it.
It's not you. You don't want to fake it.
But anyway, yeah, I am on social media. I enjoy it. That's how I get all my news. That's how I get all my sports.
Same. It's how you promote your business.
Yes,
yeah, everything.
Totally. I'm on it. Yeah, often.
Yeah. What about therapy? You believe in therapy?
Yeah, 100%. I love that therapy has gotten more.
Not hip and cool, but like,
but just more mainstream.
Yeah, it's mainstream.
Just accepted.
It's normalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my wife and I have no qualm saying that, like, hey, we've been to a marriage therapist. It was amazing.
That's cool.
Right? There's times in
Whatever
our lives
works, man,
where life got hard and stuff, and kids and work and everything. We're like, hey, we need to work on us, and we needed better tactics and better training on how we can work on each other so that we don't grow apart. I believe that in dentistry. I have a dental coach, somebody who I check in with and contact.
That's cool.
Patty Ricard, she's amazing. She has helped me for years, and somebody that I just love to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, that's cool.
I just believe in coaching and therapy and all that. I want all my kids to have that in life. Just, I know there's a book, Bad Therapist. I don't know if you've read that recently, but it's quite the hot topic as far as
it's called Bad Therapist.
It's called Bad Therapy, it's about how we view therapy today is ruining the next generation. It's got a lot of great points, but I think therapy is awesome used in the right way. And I think it's only benefited my life and the life of my family for sure.
And no tattoos for you, huh?
Do none. And I've got
you don't.
Pretty amazing tattoo artists where I've done their teeth and they're like, hey, do you want to get tattooed and you can do my teeth? And and I've just had to decline.
I'm like, I have no tattoos.
I'm a blank slate.
Does your wife have tattoos?
0.
That's kind of cool. You guys clean canvases.
And I don't know, maybe because I'm
not against it, we just don't want any.
I don't know if I'm too ADD. I couldn't picture figuring out something I want on my body and being like, that's what I'm going to want forever. I'm like, no, it's going to change. I mean, I've thought about it a bunch. A
tooth in a football?
People are going to think I'm just such a meathead. But
a piece of steak.
42-year-old. Come on now.
Maybe it's not for you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so admirable of their ability, right? And the artists that they are.
It's crazy art, man. It's a crazy skill, man.
Franco, who comes to me, Dan, who comes to me, they're just, I've seen their work and I'm just in awe.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's so incredible what they do, and I love it.
What about your love for music, man? We listen to all types of music. It's a really great soundtrack at Hada Family Dental. It's the 80s. It's throwback. Everybody's singing next to each other. I'm singing the loudest in there.
Dude, everybody loves it,
You know all the classics, all the hits, the Goo Goo Dolls, everything.
Yes.
What's like your music background? Did you ever want to play music? Do you sing? Do you love music? Like what you do?
I grew up with just a love of music. My older brother, Dave, he's 7 years older than me.
Yeah.
He started when he was a freshman in high school playing the guitar, and he'd come home from school when he wasn't skating anymore. He literally would just be 3 to 4 hours on the guitar. And then he got into bands. His bands toured all over the US, put out a CD, and he was
he had a band. He was traveling.
He had a band, called Stranger. Played like locally, played with, who did he play with? He played with Sublime.
That's cool.
The Mother Hips, still a huge favorite of mine.
Yeah.
But anyway, he got me on really early in like 2nd, 3rd grade to classic rock. So I got super into like Hendrix, love the Doors, really into Zeppelin.
That's cool.
Pink Floyd, just a lot of good classic rock. Neil Young.
Oh yeah.
Loved all that early on. And then I got into junior high and I got obsessed with punk and reggae.
Okay.
That's kind of where
what
my
kind of punk,
love
like
went.
Blink-182 and stuff like that, or just?
I heard early on. I heard.
So
I started as a kid. My brother had like Minor Threat.
Oh, okay, let's go, bro. Let's go.
He had the Circle Jerks.
Okay.
He had Minor Threat. He had Sex Pistols.
All the classics.
The Ramones. Yeah, the classics. So that was like rocking through my house early on, and then. Which I always loved. My parents were home. That was like so loud, as well as metal, right? He had Metallica, and there was like so many good bands that my brothers both had. But Dave was really the music. He's very musically inclined.
That's cool. So we got into that stuff.
So I got into that, and then I grew up in the 90s, so that whole punk resurgence that happened in the 90s.
Green Day, Offspring, Rancid, Blink, all that.
All of that stuff I loved. Like Op Ivy, I remember in 7th grade, I heard Op Ivy, and I'm like, what? And then like got really into Op Ivy and Rancid, and then Blink, and then a lot of California bands. Loved Millencolin.
Ooh, yeah.
Back in the day, was really into Millencolin.
Are they from Orange County?
They're from Belgium.
Oh,
from Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the band that had this, the guy in the band became a baseball player. That's Pulley. My bad.
Oh, Pulley.
That's right, a baseball player. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just, it's so funny. You kind of got, I grew up in the era where surf videos and snowboard videos, skate videos started to merge with punk.
Yes.
And then you just like, the moment you went surfing, you wanted to be rocking punk the whole time. The moment you would like driving up to the mountains would be nothing but punk.
Yeah,
right?
Those were the
hour and a
soundtracks.
half going to the music because that's what it was.
Yeah.
Right. So that was really popular. I went through like a hip hop phase, got really into reggae. Still love reggae to this day. And then got the whole time, like pop music, I wasn't a huge fan of. Like growing up, Goo Goo Dolls were big. And I was like, I'm not going to buy their CD. And then now, dude, I listen to that stuff way more. Like I love so many of the 90s, 80s pop music. My girls they like country. I've gotten big into country. They love Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they turn you on to all that stuff.
Yeah. And dude, I just love music. I love the soundtrack of music. And I love how different songs evoke different emotions because they become a part of your own personal soundtrack.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it just reminds me of memories, whether it's a person, a place, I was doing something. Music's so powerful in that.
So powerful, man.
And so I take it, the music in my office is really important to me, probably too important.
You can tell it's your soundtrack to all the stuff in there.
And so there's certain things that I want played and I don't want played based on what it like evokes for people.
Yeah.
And
what about hip hop? You like hip hop growing up?
Yeah. Yeah. So that like same time punk got really big, hip hop, of course, got really big with, that's when Biggie was really big and huge fan of Wu-Tang back in the day. I loved Wu-Tang.
Did you get Eminem and stuff when he came out?
Of course. That was actually more late high school and college for me.
Mm-hmm.
But when he hit, and of course, Dre and Snoop and the whole West Side connection and that whole, that was amazing, right? That was growing up here. If it wasn't punk, it was typically like we're listening to hip hop before we're going to go skate, before we're going to go snowboard. 100%. That was like, those just meshed. Those worlds were like very one and the same.
Yeah, they got Coldplay in there too.
Yes, and then
we got to go to the Coldplay show.
That was insane.
Me, you, and Max, and
there's so many things we've experienced that were amazing.
Came, that was amazing, and then Blink-182 and Turnstile. Dude.
Oh my gosh,
because you love Turnstile.
Who turned me on to them is Kingman. Kingman was in my office once, turned me on to Turnstile, and then we love to go boating. I put it on boating. My son, who's 9, loves it, and then he turns on his Alexa to wake up to TLC Love Connection.
Wow.
And that was that or Holiday was his wake up song.
That's
and
cool.
Dude, he's 9
That's
and
a
10.
Sick wake up call.
My girls.
It's Holiday.
Yes, so good.
That's cool.
My girls hated it.
Okay.
My girls was like, turn this off. But then I like secretly was like, oh, I love this. Cash was like loving good music. So anyway, that's something. Yeah, I love Turnstile.
That was cool going to see that show with you and Blink and stuff.
That was so special, man.
Was that in San Diego?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was such a good concert.
With the
Both
Kardashians.
of them put on.
We're chilling backstage with Travis.
Chilling with the Kardashians. I'm like.
That was a great year. Met Franz, all that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That was so good.
So cool, yeah. I want to have more experience like that with you, see some more shows. Maybe that one coming up with Turnstile.
Oh, looking forward to that.
June 8th,
yes.
in Pomona.
Early June. And that's a big one, right?
Yeah,
it's
Misfits, like Turnstile, every band, like everybody.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool.
Fun. I'll look forward to
this. Is great, man. I get to know your whole story today. I think we covered a lot of things, right? We did pretty good.
I think
you
so.
You were nervous, man. It's so chill, right? This is easy, bro.
You make it so easy.
Thank
you really
man.
do. And
it's in my kitchen talking. It's easy.
Dude, I love this.
But I feel like for the listeners, like having you on, it's so cool because especially with all the stuff I post about my teeth and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Is it good? Is it bad? All my visits to your office, all my friends who go see you. And then people that really should be taking care of their teeth because you get one set of teeth, man. And it's like, I really should have took care of mine at a younger age and now I'm dealing with it later in my 50s. But, you can definitely start early and definitely floss and brush and pay attention to it. I know it's annoying, but, going to the dentist was annoying for me. That's why, I don't know, I kind of avoided it most of my life. But I still didn't take care of my teeth. So it's just important, take care of your teeth, man. It's everything. It's not just your mouth. It's your whole entire body, your immune system, everything. And that's what's cool about talking about this is so many different things besides just, not getting a cavity. Do you know what I'm saying? Not getting a filling. It's like, no, this can affect your heart, your blood, everything, how you live your life, your breath, your brain.
Totally.
It's cool that Max is seeing stuff on TikTok promoting like cleaning your teeth, It's that kind of trendy.
I love how mainstream it is.
Yeah.
Totally. Because it should be. And I love that you're stating this, because it's just like you said, you get one shot with these teeth, right?
One life, one chance of teeth.
Yes.
One life, one set of teeth. No, it's true though.
Totally. And as great as dentistry is, the technology has come so far, the advances, the materials, it is such a fun time to be a dentist. There's so much that we can offer patients, which
just
I love.
In the time you've been doing it's changed so drastically.
Oh my gosh, totally. And there's so much coming in the future, but your God-given teeth are incredible. And the more that we can keep those and maintain those and do everything you can, it's
everything.
It's everything. There is a substitute for it, but like your natural teeth are phenomenal.
One last thing, I forgot my notes. Are they ever going to change those like gnarly gray plastic metal things for the x-rays where you bite on them and you keep biting on a whole bunch, and that thing to me seems so prehistoric and caveman style. It's like the last thing they haven't changed. You know what I'm talking about?
Totally.
Where you're biting on this hard metal thing and then the gray thing's there and they take pictures. It's just so hard and cold in your mouth. Can we change that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And believe it or not, there have been improvements.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
100%.
So that's the most brutalest thing at the dentist, I think, in the x-rays.
The radiographs or the x-ray sensor and the actual tube that takes it. The biggest advancement that's happened is it used to be the x-rays, it put out, it used to be an actual x-ray. Now it's a radiograph.
Okay.
And because of that, the amount of radiation that you're getting is far less.
Okay.
Like it's crazy. We could do a full series of x-rays. That's 18 x-rays. And it's as if you're out in the sun. You get as much radiation from the sun going for like a 20-minute walk.
Okay.
Right? So the concern about radiating too much, we still want to be very, very aware about what we're doing to people, but just that exposure isn't there anymore.
Okay. That's good to know.
And so that's fantastic. But the sensor plate that you have to get an image has to be hard. And so in order to get to the top of the teeth and everything, the advances haven't come out. It's gotten smaller, and our ability to get an image on a smaller sensor plate is better, but we don't have the technology yet to like get rid of that.
What about that 3D image I posted a couple weeks ago about you coming on the podcast of my full mouth? Like that's new too. Technology.
Yeah,
that's incredible. It looks so crazy looking.
Cone beam technology is so cool, and that is a 3D image of the hard tissue, and you can see a little bit of soft tissue, but it's wild. We can set up the parameters of what we want it to take. We know where the teeth are at. We know where the bone's at. You then can like look at it and splice it up. We know how thick your bone is, how wide your bone is, how dense your bone is, where the roots are, what's happening to the roots. Like we can go through just piece by piece of every single portion of the oral cavity, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? It's so
it's
cool.
Incredible to see that too.
And it's just getting clearer and clearer. The new technology, like the ones that we had 10 years ago, you see the ones now and you're like, dude, it's like 4K. It's just wild that we can do this.
It's incredible. I could ask you questions all day about stuff. It's so cool learning all this stuff because I'm obsessed with teeth. After meeting you and coming there and getting all my stuff done, and now Max wants to get stuff done, just like not really like caring about dental my whole life, and now it's just like I don't know.
It is bigger.
Let's be straight. I don't want gold teeth like you. You kind of push them on me. I don't want that.
It doesn't smell like you brush your teeth, man.
No, but just like you said, and like that patient said, teeth are the new boobs, right?
Yeah.
You know, a patient said that. It's like it's something that's so common, and I love that it's getting just so much more mainstream. It's something that we can talk about.
It's healthy,
but
good dental, good teeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rather than like, sometimes I went to the dentist, sometimes not. It's like, hey, who's your dentist? And that's common that a lot of people go.
Because you end up paying, and when you get older, you deal with it when you get older, and it's the worst, actually. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like when you're young, just go to the dentist. And I get it. Like some people, my mom couldn't get us all to the dentist all the time when she was trying to raise 3 boys. I understand that. She did her best. You know, some people don't have good dental or can afford it as well, you know? So just brushing your teeth and floss and gargling with Listerine or whatever and all that stuff helps, you know?
Totally. All that stuff. Anything you can do to take care of your teeth and minimize the bacteria in your mouth is just going to allow not only for your teeth to last longer, but you'll feel the effects throughout your whole body, which is amazing.
What's the average filling? How long it's supposed to last? How many years?
So fillings last anywhere from like 5 to 15.
Okay.
Crowns are anywhere like 20 to 30. And that's kind of old data. All the newer materials just haven't been around that long, but we believe with how we can bond to the tooth and the technology and the chemistry behind it now, it should be even longer.
Okay.
And so, yeah, dentistry is in a place where your dentistry should last for a really long time.
Yeah.
Nothing's forever. I wish it was.
Yeah. But there's no warranty with your teeth either. You know what I mean? Like you have a warranty. Hey, I did your teeth, and then 20 years later we come back and say I did this.
Totally. I mean, we do. What did we do in my office? I think any work that we do, if the patient can come in for their cleanings, because I can't. If they don't come in for 5 years, I have no idea where they're at, what they've been doing. I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
But if you're coming in regularly for your cleanings, any work that we do, we guarantee for 5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
right?
that's
And so
awesome.
if anything happens, we'll redo it for you, no charge. We'll take care of that.
And just because all my teeth are gold doesn't mean I can have a free phone eat candy all the time because I won't get a cavity. It's not true.
Yeah.
Now I know. It can just creep in and get a cavity.
It can. It's harder, but for sure still can.
And do you have like a top 5 favorite artists or musicians or anything, or influences or inspirations?
Dude, it's so funny. Were you and I talking about if you could listen to one song the rest of your life? Has to be one song. You can't listen to any other song.
What is yours going to be? I'm so curious. Wow.
Dude, it's so hard because you don't want something too hard.
I know.
Or too emo either. I know, you don't want too emo. It might be. I was just thinking, what are the songs that, like, once you hear on the radio, I will never change it. I'm always singing the words. I love Don Henley, Boys of Summer.
Great. Probably a Journey song for me, maybe a classic Journey song.
Classic Journey song.
Boys of Summer's great.
It's like one of my all-time favorites.
Don't Stop Believing, Journey.
Yeah.
There's so many though.
It's so hard to think that. A patient asked me that and I'm like, wow, that's a hard question.
What about like a go-to record you love? You never get sick of?
Mother Hips, Later Days. That album. So the Mother Hips, it's a group from Chico. They toured with my brother Dave's band.
Okay, yeah. So this is like some local band.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, they're still touring nationwide. They're smaller. Been at it a while. They're in their 50s.
Okay.
You know, they've been at it since they've been 19.
That's cool. That's a good childhood record
for
you. Yeah.
But it's like, dude, these guys still put on a great show. It's kind of like, I think you'd call it like groove rock or country rock.
Okay.
It's, anyway, I love it. That's like really unique.
That's a go-to for you.
If I'm like, my wife and I, if like we're together, we love Continuum by John Mayer.
Okay.
That signifies us moving. That album came out when we were moving to Arizona and kind of like moving away out of our parents. We're like becoming our own family, doing something alone. And that album just holds a really special place because it's something where we just listen. We'd be cleaning up the house and that album came on. That's back when we had CDs.
That's cool.
And so that was a CD that we got right before we left. And that album just holds like us becoming our own partnership, really.
That's beautiful,
and like,
man. That's nice.
So that's special for me.
Coldplay in there?
Dude, I love Coldplay.
Yeah.
You turned me on more to Coldplay. I've always loved Coldplay, but then your love for Coldplay got me listening to more Coldplay. Oh my gosh.
Their shows are just like, it's another level, man.
It's an experience.
It's beautiful.
It's like a religious experience almost. You know,
it's
man.
So... It was so fun. And the songs and just everything about it.
It's so good. Singing along.
It was magical, dude. Glad we did that together. That was awesome, man.
And the fact it was like, wasn't it like almost raining at times? It was like drizzling, which I just think made it cooler.
You made it there in traffic, and man, it was crazy to get there.
I was so nervous, but they started late, which was great.
This is great. This is a great podcast. I'm glad I'm your second podcast.
Dude, I love it.
You're killing it. It's so relaxing, right?
Oh, dude.
Max, any more questions for Mr. Hada before we get food and see him go in the cold plunge for the first time?
Yowzers.
Max, any questions for Hada? Anything else,
What do
Max?
you got? I love that you brought up TikTok, man.
I know, Max. That was great, Max. Max Morse. And there's a lot of we did a lot of good questions on here that I think the listeners would be really happy with. I think about anything else you missed that's important in dental, we should say. We covered. Just get your checkups every 6 months. We know that.
Yeah.
What else?
Get in there. Don't any questions. Social media is so cool too because you
check your DMs?
Yes. Okay, and people will reach out from like, I told you one person reached out from Alaska.
Okay, that's awesome.
And they were like, hey, how do you start making gear for like, I have a PT clinic. How do I start getting it out? And patients will like want to wear my product.
That's cool.
And it was like, we went through this whole conversation.
So other dental officers are asking about the merch, the merch game.
Yeah.
Because your merch game's on point. Yeah. What happened?
I found a really good surfboard for cheap.
Okay, get out of here. I got my podcast.
No, get a hold of me when it comes to surfboards. I got you.
Yeah, he's been trying to buy surplus all day. I'm actually doing a podcast. Yeah, so people reach out to you and ask you for advice about the branding and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's been really fun. Or somebody will reach out about like veneers. I mean, it's been so fun because of social media. It's allowed us to, I have patients coming from the East Coast, coming from Texas. They'll come in, get their dental work, and then fly out 2 weeks later, come back. I'll put in all of the dental work, and it's all done through social media, awesome, and like when patients fly in, and it's wild that they would do it. It's amazing. And it's just, cool. You have this connection with such a broader audience, which is neat. Yeah. So man. I love that.
I actually do have a question. Yeah. What's the reason that when you, so I am looking into doing Invisalign.
Yeah.
And my friend actually just got Invisalign. And what is the reason? So if you have braces as a kid, let's say for 2 years, some people, is that average time for have braces?
Yeah, totally.
You don't need to wear anything the rest of your life after you have braces, correct? At nighttime, or you do?
You do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a night. Yeah.
Even when you're 45, let's say you got them when you're 16, it's just how it is.
It's crazy. Your teeth will move. Let's say you don't wear it for 2 years, or even like...
They could go back completely to normal.
Your teeth will start to shift.
Okay. Yeah. And so with Invisalign, every night you need to wear...
Yeah, that's always the goal. Now, I have patients that are like, hey, I put it in twice a week and they've been awesome. Teeth haven't shifted. They wear it on the weekends, put the retainers in on the weekend. They're awesome. But yeah, I mean...
Some people's teeth.
Yeah, but I think majority, if you can wear that at night, it's only better. And that retainer acts as a protectant, right? It's kind of from clenching, grinding when life gets crazy and we grind and clench more, we can wear down our teeth, and those retainers will only help that over time. So kind of use it as a guard as well.
And when is the only times you should take off your Invisalign? When you eat and that's it?
Like when you're wearing them, when you're going through active treatment?
Yeah.
Yeah, eating and brushing your teeth.
Okay.
So that allows you to have the best outcome, right? It allows us to have the best tooth movement, to know that like what we planned, your teeth will get there. That being said, I've done pro surfers, right? They're in a heat and they're like, hey, I don't like what this does to my breathing when I'm actually having this. So can I take them out for a 20-minute heat? And I'm like, of course, this is your livelihood, right? If you're acting or you're in a commercial and you're like, hey, I had to take them out for 2 hours today. Like, yes, but if that happens every single day, it just won't work, right? You won't have the benefits of the tooth movement and the tracking of the teeth, but it'll be awesome.
That's actually good. I didn't think about that because acting with giving a lisp on stage. Okay,
totally.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I still can't believe when you brush your teeth when there's dentist in the kitchen. It doesn't smell like it. It doesn't smell like it.
Look at them.
Maybe how I was gonna look at your teeth out here in the garage after this.
Dude, your guys' relationship is the funniest. When you guys come to the office, everybody loves it. You guys are the best.
Oh my goodness, man!
I love it. And the fact you guys get to play together, go on tour together, like how rad is that?
It is pretty amazing.
That's so special.
I'm very lucky to have this kid, man. He's a good kid most of the time when he brushes his teeth. No, my Facebook for what? After the podcast, dude, how did this say he's gonna get you a board? Man, this guy's sponsored by every surfboard company. You got a bunch of surfboard people.
Yeah, I have.
We can't talk about the pod, but yeah,
I'm such a sucker. Yes, I'm such a sucker for boards, and so many shapers come and they're like, "Hey, do you want me to pay you in cash?"
Or boards. You got a lot of boards.
Or they'll be really nice and just make a board. They're like, "Hey, what do you have? This is what you need for your quiver." And so, Max, I got you.
That's sick.
And also, are there any people listening who don't have the best? This is the last question. This is a really good question. We then get some food with Hada, then throw in the plunge. People that don't have good medical plans, maybe they don't have medical insurance. I know that you can get these cards, like these care cards. There's something that people can get that have payment plans and stuff too if they can't afford to get the stuff they need for dental care.
Totally. And so there's so many companies out there like Care Credit. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Care Credit, yeah.
That we can virtually make any budget work towards dentistry and work to maintaining, keeping the teeth. Now, you might not be able to come in and say, hey, I want a veneer on every tooth, right? But you can come in and say, hey, I want to keep my teeth. This is a goal. What do I need to do to have proper oral hygiene? And we can work together on a budget. There's been cases that I've done where literally we've completely restored a mouth over 5 to 10 years. Like my longest one was like 8 years where like we would notice things. We're like, all right, we're going to put a filling on that. Filling's too big for that tooth. It's going to need a crown, but he couldn't afford it.
Okay.
So we go through and do little things. And then once a year, it's like, hey, your insurance, you have enough to do a crown here. You have enough to do this cleaning here, that. And
takes time, man.
And then he's kept his teeth. He's now in his 70s and his teeth are the same.
It's all okay. Yeah.
But then there's patients. Last Wednesday, never seen. I did a patient, every tooth in the mouth.
Wow.
9 hours. We did a veneer on every tooth in the mouth.
Wow.
Fully rebuilt his bite, his teeth, function. And he was in a position where he's like, hey, I've let my teeth go. I have the means to get it done. I want one appointment, put temporaries on, and then come back. And then I want them all on. That's all I have.
Did you put them under?
Busy guy.
No.
I didn't.
Wow.
You would not believe it.
Wow.
He sat there on... greatest guy, just amazing, so easy, such a good patient, like just
9 hours.
Great. He didn't get up once.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't lift the chair once. The whole time I was like, how are you doing this? I had to go and like grab a little lunch. I mean, I love intermittent fasting, so I was so I intermittent fasted longer that day, but like I had to go to the restroom. I had to grab a drink of water. My assistants did, and he was Netflix zoning, and
That's
he was
cool,
like,
man.
that went by fast. It was easy.
Show.
He did. He got through 13 episodes of Survivor.
What?
He did.
Wow.
We watched Survivor. We know exactly what episode where he's at, so we'll put it on next time he's in.
Oh my goodness. Okay, last thing.
Talk to me.
What is a bridge for?
Oh, awesome. So a bridge, if you have a tooth that's missing, right? And let's say the bone isn't strong enough for an implant. You can bridge that gap by doing a crown on the front and a crown on the back, and it's all connected. You put a fake crown in the middle, so you're cementing that. It's like all together. It's 3 or 4 teeth or sometimes longer. And it gives you a fixed appliance, so something in the mouth that's secure and permanent and fixed. And when it's in there, you can chew on it, you can brush it, you can floss it.
Everything,
Everything. It's great.
And then my frames on the bottom, this is kind of interesting because my frames are not flush. Most frames are flush, but you tried to make mine a little 3D, right? That process was interesting, right?
It was, and that was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
A couple different samples you showed me.
Yes.
Because I was trying to go for the look of having gold caps, but really not being gold caps, being permanent teeth. So we wanted to have more 3D. Yeah. And you pulled it off, which is incredible. It took a couple times, but it was really... That was tricky, right?
It was. And lucky to work with amazing ceramists that we can communicate to and have good, proper communication where we can talk about what you want as well as within the function. Because that's really the boundaries that we can go. It's got to work with your bite. Yeah. Right? It's got to work, 1, aesthetically. Yeah. And then 2, it's got to work with your bite as well to make sure that it'll last long term. And once you can nail those, then you can start getting into, all right, hey, how does this look? How do we want it to look? Yeah. Is it cleansable? Something that won't trap bacteria, but does it give you the aesthetics that you want, but is also hygienic? And dude, I love it. There's not a smile in the world like yours. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you.
Because when you heat this up, I guess the gold can turn colors too, and you're mixing the porcelain with the gold. Yes. Something happens when it gets heated, correct?
Yeah, the gold can offset a little bit of it kind of oxidizes, so it gets a little, and so that will get on the porcelain. Then it turns the porcelain, which is layered, almost like a grayer. Yeah. And so it's a tricky process to get in between that, so you don't get any of the grayness in it. But working with amazing professionals, great ceramists, it's so good. And
then I actually think you can make the X the same if I wanted it again.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Because this isn't porcelain. This is something else you told me.
Composite.
But you would do one with porcelain in the middle, correct?
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, we could do either. I mean, we would get it to match.
Because this is porcelain in the bottom and the frames.
Yeah.
But this is composite.
Yeah. The biggest benefit with composite is if something ever happened, I can put it back in without taking the whole crown off. With porcelain, something happens, I got to take the whole thing and just do it over again.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I can actually bond to it in the mouth.
Okay, awesome. Well, this has been great, Hada, man. Like, we went through a lot. I think we covered a lot of stuff, right? I'm sure we'll think about more things.
Dude, so much. I can't believe how much of my life we talked about, too.
Great.
But I appreciate you.
I know. Shout out to your wife, Amy, for sending me notes on you and being so cool and so supportive. And I can't wait to see you in this cold plunge. Get some food with you.
I can't wait.
Are you hungry?
I am.
Okay. So you have to be back for your kids' game by 3? Okay.
Yeah, my daughter has a swim meet. My son has a football game, so I got to go to both of those.
Super dad. You do it all, man.
I try, man. It's like honestly what I enjoy most.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you in my life and being connected to you through Ryan. Once again, shout out to Ryan Kingman.
Thank you,
changed
Kingman.
my life. You're my boy, my friend. It's awesome to like know you and know all these things about you and having you on the podcast. It's awesome, dude.
Oh man.
Because I know you listen to the podcast as well.
Yes.
Big Huberman fan, Ritual, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Honestly, to Kingman, the first time we got introduced, he was like, "Hey, take care of Toby. You will love him." And Kingman knew me. Kingman knew you, and he's like, "Take care of Toby." And dude, from the moment I met you, I was like, "Dude, this guy is amazing."
We fell in love.
It's like, right?
A true bromance,
dude. But honestly, from the more I got into H2O,
thank you.
I was just like, dude, this guy, I love what he's doing. I love who he's been. And just the positivity that you put in other people's life because you're in their life, dude. It's like it's contagious. The girls in my office will say, they're like, I love it when Toby comes in.
That's
and
nice.
I love and it's something.
Except for his son. I'm just kidding. No, they love Max.
Right, that positive mental attitude. I love it,
Thank you,
that's something that I strive daily to have. And that's something I look up to a ton that you have. And dude, just finding good people to do life with, it makes life that much sweeter. Dude, so yeah, really appreciative to have you in my life as a friend.
Same, man. Same.
Mentor and colleague and dental patient.
Yes.
All of the things.
Me
Concert
too,
goer, kind of everything,
that,
dude.
I still have to skate your ramp too. That's
yes. Dude, you're gonna rule my ramp.
Max will rip it up too. You're gonna surf with Hada too, Max. I think it'd be good too.
Yes. We need
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for your
time.
time. I know you're super, super busy. I think a lot of people are really stoked on this conversation. I learned a lot. They're going to learn a lot. It's cool, man.
Thank you.
And if any more questions, they can just DM you.
Oh, please. Instagram, I sure hope they do.
Yeah. You check your DMs and all that stuff.
Yes, always.
And check out his merch too. Is there a website for the merch or no? Only
we are making it right now.
Okay, sick.
Yes, we're making it right now. My daughter's helping me. My 16-year-old daughter is helping me make
merch. Is fire, right? All his merch. It's like high-end dental merch. It's crazy. Just like my teeth.
Just being a streetwear guy, you know how it is. Like you only want to wear proper stuff.
You big sneakerhead too, right?
I am, dude. I love.
You still buy sneakers?
Gosh, I do.
Is it Nike or is it all different styles?
Growing up was Nike. I was a huge fan of Jordans, right? When that hit the scene, just my love for basketball and stuff like that. And then growing in, I loved the Converse scene. When I skated, I got really into ES. I loved Eric Costin.
Oh, yeah.
Got into ES. There's just certain different brands that like you link childhood to and stuff like that, and I love everything from like good boots to like shoes that I wear to church, like good dress shoes I really like. I love sneakers though the most. Like that's what I have the most of, and that's what my wife was like, you have so many shoes that I don't collect a lot of things, but shoes and surfboards are like high on the list for me.
That's good. You have shoes in the box you don't wear either?
I do.
Dang.
Yeah, I have a couple dunks that at some point, like dunks, I'll probably like my son's always wear those to school, Dad. I'm like, nope.
He can have those later on.
That's what I would love. Yes, to give something like that and give a brand new pair.
Yeah.
Oh, Cash loves them. So does Bobby. Bobby's colorblind, so when he puts things together, I'm like, huh.
Oh wow.
But it's funny. But it's he loves them.
You have 2 boys, 2 girls?
Yep. 2 boys, 2 girls, 16, 14, and then 11 and 6. And
no more, you're done. You're good.
We're done.
Cool.
But they're my pride and joy, dude. That's that's everything I want in this life.
Yeah, I just got one. He's pretty cool. That's all I need.
Max is a legend, man. Come on.
Well, thank you, Hada, for being here. Thanks for listeners. And bye-bye. Peace. Bye. Check. We're back here on the podcast. Hada's still here. What up, Hada?
Dude. So much fun.
We just
what a day. What an experience.
We took him to we did like the whole day in the life of the Morses, and we took him in his amazing truck to Green Table. He loved it. And then cold plunge sauna. He just did the plunge, which I was really proud of him. It was great. It's beautiful out. Did the sauna. How you feeling?
Dude, just all the endorphins, the level of zen, of like peacefulness. It's amazing. All the feels right now.
This dude's zened out. He's me driving home now, like dozing off at the wheel. But it usually happens when I hang out with people after the podcast. We get food, we'll plunge with sauna, and we start thinking about the conversation, what you could have, should have said. But yeah, I asked you about regrets, and you wanted to rephrase or just speak about your regrets, because you talked earlier about, we got into sports, and I kind of got you on that kind of sports tip. But in reality, your regrets are.
But in reality, the biggest things that I regret is anytime I haven't treated people well. I think anytime I lose my temper, say something that I shouldn't say. Having kids, being a parent is hard, you know, and sometimes day will be stressful. You lose your temper. And those are the things that I regret the most. You're wondering like, all right, how am I doing as a parent, or how am I doing as a manager, a boss, if you know? So even like I think back and being like a kid in elementary school, like, was I a punk to a kid? Why did I say that? I made this kid cry. Like just things like that there's just no place for it in this world, you know? And I love that your podcast is called One Life, One Chance. And that's such a special, like we have one life and one chance at this. And I want to be in a position to like help people improve that life than tear anybody down.
Yeah, I can't see you as like somebody who picked on somebody in school though.
I never really did, but at the same time, like I'm sure, like I get really competitive playing sports, you know, and like I've said things where I'm like, yes, you know, you're some guys chirping at you and you're talking trash, and it's like, you know what? Why do you get like that?
So it's more like a sports thing. Yeah.
I know. Look, I always bring it back to sports, but
no, it's true. Like sometimes if I snap on Max or something like that, you always feel like,
totally.
How could I have handled that better? And it's still learning. You know, every day we're learning as parents. Even though Max is 21, your kids are 4 different crazy ages. You're learning every day, dude. It's just like, it's a journey, you know?
Even marriage, right? Marriage is a journey every day. You got to work together. It's hard. You're forgiving and resolving conflict, and
it really is, man.
Loving. And
I'm married 27 years this year. It's crazy, man.
Congrats, man.
Thank
you. Good for you.
No, I'm very lucky that my wife holds me down, lets me be a big kid and still play music and do all the things I love. But it's a partnership. We're best friends, all that stuff. It's like super important. The trust, everything, you know?
Yeah,
trust is easy. We've always trusted each other, but just like the communication, actually listening and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, you guys have a beautiful family, dude. And being in your house, it reflects that. It reflects the love that you guys have and what you feel like. It's something that's palpable here in the house, which is cool. This is a great place, man.
Thank you, man. So we good with the regrets? You good?
Yeah, better. I was thinking that, and I was like, you know, I've regret a lot more than just sports.
I know you're going to text me from the car or call me. Hey, one more thing I forgot to say in there. But yeah, I think we covered a lot on here. It's really, really nice, and I'm stoked to check out this Transform Dental Sleep book this guy sent me.
I'll check it out. I can't wait to reach out to him. I'll look him up on social media and send him a DM. And
we get to send Josh Brolin a message, and he sent one back to you and showing us his teeth. It was awesome.
that was amazing.
Hopefully we get Brolin to get his teeth fixed. Mom, you have any questions about dental, babe? Oh, Moon have a question about dental. Anything? Oh, here she comes. Scary Moon. Nothing about teeth, babe. You good? It's your last chance. Anything about teeth? You have pretty good teeth, though. Don't? Okay. You don't want to talk in the podcast? Shout out to Derek Green from Sepultura. He never had a cavity his entire life. Ever. He's got incredible teeth.
Amazing.
Incredible teeth, man. Shout out to Derek Green. Not one cavity. You have to talk in the mic. Oh, yeah. Our friend Sandra Escalante's got really great teeth. She carries floss sticks with her. She's always brushing her teeth. See,
a lot of that is definitely what they're doing. Some of it's genetic. We just have a lot stronger teeth, right? The enamel makeup is super strong. It's more bacteriostatic in their mouth. They're just not prone to a lot of bacteria. Mm-hmm. And, but a lot of that you can minimize bacteria and what's happening in the mouth by really good oral care. So I love seeing that. We get so fired up when patients, you know.
Yeah, we're talking about Sandra Escalante. She has really good teeth, Max. She's always been flossing and brushing her whole time. Love that. It's cool to see like Audio Element. You like in the plunge in the sauna. You have a mask on. You're not working. Your hair is like not perfect right now. You're so normal human. I love it,
dude. I love it, man. I need more of you in my life, man.
For sure, dude. I'm gonna have you back though when they have the new plunge here and stuff. And
let's go.
All right, bro. Thanks everybody. We're out of here finally. Bye. Hey, we're back in the podcast, man, and I'm back with Dr. Hada.
Let's go. Part 2.
I called you Richard today, which is weird. I never call you that.
No, dude.
I want to be respectful of like what you do and what you know.
You're so rad. It's almost like you're mad at me. That's what my mom used to say when I like got in trouble as a kid. Richard.
So a lot's happened since you came on the podcast. Couple things. You used your plunge finally after 5 months, and now you use it every day.
Dude, it's insane.
It's cool seeing your kids using it and like.
Dude, my boys love it. Like we'll go and do a hard workout, my boys, and they'll come back and they're like, Dad, sauna. And it's so fun to get in there, right? Like they've worked their way up. And I actually need to research what the benefits, if any benefits, are just because they're young.
Yeah. So for young kids, that's a good point.
I don't like them to stay in too long just because their bodies are so young.
Yeah.
But 6 and 11 are my boys. But my girls do it. My wife is still on the fence. She has a hard time being cold, so she hasn't jumped in yet.
That's crazy. I never thought about it for young kids because you see like Huberman and Rogan, everybody talking about how it's good for adults.
Yeah.
I never see kids trying it. It's a good point.
But my son just...
I'm sure it can't be hurtful. I don't know.
Yeah. My like 11-year-old, he was the first one of us to reach 3 minutes. And he's like, Dad, I'm doing it today. And I was like, no way. And he did it. Then afterwards, I was like, all right, I got to. And he did it.
Do you think you know anything
on.
About it or anything? Just that the whole world's doing this at this point? They didn't really know because they're so young.
I know.
It's just something their dad has.
Right? Totally.
My dad's got this nice fancy bathtub at the house. And we just go in and that's it.
And they
we
love
don't
it.
use soap. We're not cleaning ourselves. There's no sauna. It's awesome.
It's great, dude. We love it. That was honestly the greatest gift ever, man.
Dude, my pleasure.
That was wild. That was
and
so
so just now, because last time he came here after the podcast, I realized that the plunge, because the older plunge, you could kick the black box on it and shut it off sometimes. So it was like 50 degrees. I'm like, oh God. So it wasn't the full experience, but just now we just did a 250 sauna and we did a 38-degree cold plunge and you killed it, dude. And you can tell you've been doing it.
I've been working. I've been trying. I wanted to make sure I didn't disappoint you today.
No, were you nervous?
Totally. Because I keep mine at 50 just because my boys like it. And I'm like, I need to research that more.
No, but they say
38, I was like, ooh, man, that's going to be cold this morning. But
you killed it though, man.
Thank you.
It was great. Well, they say, according to my doctor, my Lord Savior, Huberman, 50 degrees and below. And that's all you really need.
Right. Yeah. That's where all the benefits, like you that's that magic point where you can really kindle and harness the energy of the cold plunge.
But I think you need a sauna next if you can fit it.
Oh, I want that so bad.
I'll talk to wifey about it. I always go through her first. I had to go through her first last time.
You've got to. She's the one who runs the house. She runs me.
So we're back going to talk about some cool home remedies we could use. It's interesting because I had Chris Cole on the podcast last week, and he told me he was having some loose teeth and he was about to go into Europe, and you gave him some dental glue for his teeth.
Yeah.
And so he actually went overseas and his teeth did fall out.
They did.
And he said he was in his hotel room, like drying the surface and he actually glued his teeth back on.
Dude, it was
That's
awesome.
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So he sustained an injury, needed crowns, which is basically like a cap that fits over the teeth. Right. And, those were having some issues. And so he hit me up and he was like, hey, what do I do if I'm overseas and this happens? And we gave him a little home remedy. You could actually buy it at any drugstore. Similar stuff that I have at my office. I give it to my patients if they have anything, might have issues like that when they're overseas. And then, but normally like a properly done crown when it's cemented, like, man, that's staying on, right? That's staying on for 30 years, 20 years. That's staying on for a long time. But that was just a situation that he had to go over there and made sure that we had it. And he actually was texting me pics from his hotel room and he's like, all right, I'm doing this. What do I do next? Anyway, it was rad.
That's a super DIY.
Yeah.
Your teeth.
Yes. But hey, it worked and it got him through. I think he was, filming for like a upcoming video or something. So pretty cool.
Yeah. So what are some other home remedies you thinking for people?
I think so. Man, tooth pain can be the worst pain, right? When somebody has like a legit toothache, you can't function. You can't think of anything else. It's like debilitating.
Excruciating, right to your brain.
Yeah. So no, I know people that happens on a weekend or at night, they can't get in. It's like, boom, you go straight to the ER, right? And so I think home remedies as far as when you have really bad toothache, oftentimes what is happening, a bad toothache is caused from either infection in the tooth. So you have decay that gets into the tooth. Infection can be really uncomfortable, or the tooth can die. The tooth can go through a process of necrosis. And when the nerve and blood supply dies, it off gases, and that pressure can be really, really excruciating. Mm-hmm. And so what's really good if a tooth is infected and you're starting to feel that discomfort, doing Advil, like a full prescription dose of Advil, which is 600 to 800 milligrams. And then 3 hours after that, you do Tylenol. Then 3 hours after that, you do Advil, and kind of offsetting that, just always keeping something on board. Super helpful. Helps patients quite a bit that don't have stronger medications at the house, right? Mm-hmm. If it's necrosis, like the tooth is dying, because there's pressure on that tooth when it's off-gassing, cold is actually really helpful. So I've had people text me. I've had a patient text me at 2 a.m. and I was like, hey, I can't get in. And I heard it. I sleep with my phone next to me. I give my patients my number. And so I was like, hey, take an ice cube and rest an ice cube on the tooth. And they were like, oh my gosh, this feels so much better. And then they just kept an ice cube on it until I saw him at like 6 a.m. I went and met him at like 6, and then we had to start a little root canal on it.
That's crazy, because for me, my teeth are sensitive anyway to cold. So like for that, I'd be like, it's different for each person though.
Totally.
But I can't imagine put an ice cube on my tooth. That's wild.
And then it makes it feel better. And it's almost like a football. I know we were talking about football last time, right? Yeah. But when it gets really cold, the air inside a football decreases, right? The ball it deflates, and but then when it gets really hot, you'll feel that ball get heavier. And that's what's happening when it's letting those gases go and the tooth is actually going through a dying process.
Yeah.
There's no place for those gases to go, so it just builds up with pressure. So when you put cold on it, it's decreasing that pressure, and it's amazing. So if anybody has that, please.
What about like chipping your tooth when you can't get to a dentist? That's really painful.
It is, especially if you chip like the nerve. That gets pretty darn painful. And it's amazing if you go to just CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Walmart, and just go to the dental section. There's little paste that you can get it's like a 2+1, and you can mix it yourself, and they give you like a little mixing pad. Okay. And you can form a little cover that just goes right on the tooth. And it has some natural medication that soothes the tooth.
Interesting.
And it allows it just to decrease a lot of that inflammation.
Yeah.
That you're feeling on the nerve. So that's awesome. What else? A lot of people get these little, the corners of the mouth, we call it the commissures of the mouth. You'll see people with sores on them. And so I don't know if you've
Not a cold sore.
No, not a cold sore. It's like a little cut, right at the corner of the mouth. And it's super common in kids, super common. And so a lot of people don't know. They think hey, I've got a cut, I just need to put Neosporin. But it's actually the majority of them are caused from overgrowth of a fungal infection. So you have too much fungus there.
Wow.
So we have all different microbiome in the mouth, right? And you get too much of a fungus there in the sides of the mouth. And so just doing an antifungal, putting a little antifungal there. Your dentist can prescribe it. There's stuff that is over the counter that's an antifungal that's not typically for the mouth, but you can put a little bit on there, and it's gone in 5 days.
Yeah, so it's not cool. Chapped lips, it's not cold sore. It's just little cuts in the side of the mouth.
Yeah, and you'll see, it'll stay there. Patients will be like, I can't get this off. It's been there for 4 weeks. It's driving me nuts. I keep putting Neosporin on it, and the moment I give them an antifungal, boom, it's gone.
So the fungus is just from inside your mouth?
It is, yeah. We've got good and bad bacteria, good and bad fungal fungus, and it's, it helps the oral microbiome within the mouth. And there's overgrowth of any of that is bad, right?
Yeah.
We've got bacteria that causes cavities that we talked about. There's bacteria that causes gum infection that we talked about. And so just knowing how to combat that when the time comes, depending on what's given a little overgrowth. So
what about one more thing too? I've seen people have sometimes they have white spots on their teeth. They have blemishes on their teeth.
Those little white spots cause
what's it from?
When the tooth is forming, it doesn't get the nutrients that it needs. And so you can get you can get these little white spots, and they can be a little bit more susceptible to getting decay. It can make them a little soft. But to be honest, a lot of the times patients just don't like aesthetically how they look. And there's a little procedure of just using an aesthetic resin bonding where you can roughen the tooth up right there and then just bond filling material and then polish that, and it fully gets rid of it. We do that all the time. It's super common after after braces. Kids get their braces off and they just haven't been brushing as well, and you get that
and marks on
plaque is there, and there's kind of gets that hypocalcification. So
what are some other remedies?
Another remedy, so cold sores. People get cold sores all the time, right?
Yeah.
And when they come, it just gets brutal, because everybody knows when that cold sore hits, you start to feel the tingle. Have you ever had one, right? You feel that little tingle right on your lip, and you know you're getting one.
On the outside of your face? On your face?
Oh,
no,
they
I never
typically
had one.
come right
never
on.
Had my whole life.
Yeah.
Knocking on wood, man. Because they don't look fun. They don't look fun at all.
Yeah. So, and it's funny. Some people get them. They're much more susceptible. I've never had one either.
Yeah.
And so my wife gets them a bunch. And it's actually caused from a type of herpes, but it's super, super common that it just stays latent in one of our nerves. And like during stress, you're out in the sun a bunch, you can get it. Your body's stressed after like a cold or a fever. That's why they're called fever blisters or cold sores, right?
Yeah.
Like your body's really run down in stress, and all of a sudden, boom, you'll pop up with this little sore on the lip. They're really, really common. And so the best thing to do, just tell your dentist. He will prescribe valciclovir, and just have that literally the moment that tingle comes, you take 2 of those, 12 hours later, take 2 more, and it's gone.
It's gone.
And so like so many of my patients that get it, I'll just give them a full prescription, and I'll be like, all right, keep these in your car, keep these in your husband's car, your wife's car, keep these in your travel bag, keep these in your purse. And then like the moment, if they're out to dinner with friends and they notice that little tingle, like boom, take it. 12 hours later, take another one, boom, it's gone. And then it's caused by a virus. And viruses are really the reason when like we get sick and we get a virus, right? Our body heats up. That's why we get a fever, because we're killing off the virus, right? And they're really susceptible to temperature. So just has to heat up to like 101, 102, 103, and you can fight off the virus. So because a cold sore is caused from a virus, if you weren't able to get those pills, you can go in and see your dentist. We do it at no charge for our patients, but we can take a little laser, and the laser, it just warms the area. And for like 10 minutes, I'll put like 110, 120 degree heat right on it, just hovering over it, and boom, it kills it. Wow. So even if you have the little vesicles there, I'll like put it over it for about 10 minutes, and then it stops it in its progression and it goes away. So it's rad.
Crazy.
So let your like dentist know. They'll hook it up. We do that for our patients, of course.
Because what do people usually put on it? Let's go like this.
Like the moment the little vesicles happen and then they burst and then you get a little scab. I mean, you can put.
What do people usually do? They go to the pharmacy and get something for cold sores.
You just have to let it run its course.
Yeah.
That's like the bummer.
It's like the roughest
women
thing
could put makeup on it and stuff, but it's like, it's just one of those things that just, they get painful. They stick around like.
And just because it's in the herpes category, just having those on your face, it's just rough. It's a rough thing to get, man.
Totally. But it stays latent in our nerves. So it's like, it can express itself whenever we're stressed. We, like I said, see too much sun. We get super, like my wife would get them. I keep talking about my wife. She doesn't get them a lot, but like if like we were studying when we were in college, and like just stressed with that all of a sudden, like.
It's like when people get shingles.
Oh, dude, that's gnarly. Yeah. Yeah. Knock on wood again.
So cold sores and the canker sores. I think we talked about that already.
Yeah, canker sores again.
Some other remedies.
What else do we talk about? Home remedies, man.
Because what else could happen? You could chip your tooth. You could crack your tooth could fall out. Your gums could bleed. I remember I hit you. Oh yeah, that's what happened too. I hit you up from Europe because Max his gums had started bleeding.
Yes.
And he was just spitting up blood, and I was freaking out. I texted you from like Germany or something. Like,
yes.
And I don't even know what happened. If that's from heavy brushing, too much flossing, not flossing enough. Like, it's interesting.
Totally. And it can be from all of those. What I thought it was with Max is, one, you guys weren't getting enough sleep. You guys were going show after show. You had just come, right? And your body is stressed. He's not cleaning as well as he needed to there. And you can just get an area of increased infection. The gum swells, and it can just, cause an issue like it did for him. And you were saying.
From no sleep and being exhausted.
Yeah. And
that's
just
crazy how your body reacts like that.
So it's
through
wild.
Your gums.
Yeah. And it can just be like because we have so much bacteria, good and bad, all throughout our body, right? And especially in the mouth. And if you're not cleaning that on a regular basis, or the body can't do its natural process of doing that, it can kind of congregate in a spot and just inflame. And that's what ended up happening. And we just got him on saltwater rinses. He drank a lot of fluids, just continue to to brush and floss. And dude, it was good. It cleared up in a couple of days, didn't it?
Yeah. But then also my brother and my mother both have like fake teeth on the bottom because they had some sort of gum. I don't know if it's gum disease. I'm just not sure if that's hereditary because I know mine are pretty good.
Yeah,
you've seen my gums.
Teeth. Yeah,
but I'm just wondering, like, it just had happened just to my brother and my mom. I don't know.
So much of it is hereditary.
Yeah,
like, there's definitely a genetic makeup about how susceptible we are. The bacteria that causes cavities different from the bacteria that causes gum disease. Some people just on our genetic makeup were more susceptible to either. So I have some patients that it's like, dude, they brush, they floss, they mouth rinse, they're on top of their cleaning and they still get cavities. And they're just like, what in the world? And it's just, it's the genetic makeup of their teeth. It's softer. The enamel's not as hard. And so, they've got to be really, really on it to make sure that they do the best they can to give their teeth the best chance to make it. And then same thing. Some people are like, dude, I have never gotten a filling my whole life. My teeth are great. They've like zero. They hardly take care of their teeth, but then they're more susceptible to gum disease. And so it's funny. We actually lose more teeth from gum disease than we do from tooth decay.
Wow. So
gum disease is kind of an insidious disease where it's like you don't even know you really have it, right? This bacteria is underneath the gum and it's proliferating and it's congregating down there and you don't really know until all of a sudden you're like, try to floss and you're like, man, my gums bled, but that bacteria, when it stays down there for a prolonged period of time, the gums get chronically inflamed. And when that happens, the bone wants to be away from the bacteria. And so the bone starts to recede and it just, life gets crazy. I mean, I see it all the time. A patient came in yesterday and it's like, doc, I haven't seen you for 4 years. And it's like, dude, life happens. It's like, he like literally thought when the hygienist talked to him, he thought he was in like 8 months ago and it had been 4 years. And he just completely is like, life just got crazy. And he just completely forgot. And so when that happens, like you can get bone loss and then you get enough bone loss, teeth get mobile, it gets really, really difficult to clean because there's so much mobility and not enough bone. And that's why people lose more teeth than tooth decay. Yeah,
that's crazy. Derek Green, Sepultura, my brother, who he might have been here if he wasn't on tour. He's never had a cavity ever. He has perfect teeth. It's crazy.
Dude, I've seen him here on your podcast all the time. I see all the pictures he posts. Man. Yeah, just phenomenal genes. I hope he passes those on.
I was just thinking too, you said 4 years. I'm wondering how many people like through the pandemic didn't get the right dental stuff and then they had crazy issues coming out of that.
Oh my gosh.
Because they couldn't go to the dentist.
That was a wild time.
And get their cleanings.
That was a wild time. Yeah.
We talked about it in the sauna, but just people like waiting in line to come see you and just like people used to getting their checkups. Dude, that happened with people like with heart, just everything.
Totally. And it was like there were people that rightfully so, they were nervous for like years afterwards. There's people that waited years to come in. And
after the pandemic.
A lot
of people got shooken up by PTSD from it, all kinds of things.
Totally. And it was just harder for them to like.
It's such a personal thing to be in your mouth, in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super intimate. It's super personal. You've got to trust those people. And there's like, anyway, that was a wild time just with the stress of the pandemic. It's something that I think everybody living for the most part, like we had never been through anything like that.
The whole world went through it together. Yeah.
That was wild. Right. And it was, we were going through it at Hada Family Dental where we were just trying to figure out what the American Dental Association was saying, what the Orange County Dental Association, California, just like trying to be like, how do we do this? How do we what do we mandate? What do we not? How do we help people? Like our main goal was just honestly, we just want to serve people and give them the best chance of oral health and the best lives possible that we can in our little division, in our little realm of dentistry. And it was hard. It was stressful. It was stressful on everybody, like my team, myself, my patients, like everybody. And
unless your teeth were falling out, It was hard to get into the dentist during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh, it was.
This was extreme emergencies.
Yeah, it was, because they actually shut us down. ADA said don't work. We were open, like they said we can open a couple days a week.
Yeah.
And we were just like literally, it was crazy. Like lines out the door of people with toothaches.
Wow.
It was crazy. It
was just home remedies, man.
Yeah.
That's what they
Seriously.
needed. Could be posting about that back then. It'd been cool.
Yeah.
Home remedies for people. Yeah. Totally.
But another good home remedy that's cool, if you do have inflammation in the mouth, saltwater rinses, so good, right? If you like bite your lip, you bite your tongue, anything like that, just quarter teaspoon of salt, cup of warm water, and you can do that 8-9 times a day. It just balances the pH, allows everything to heal. The mouth actually heals really fast. The body does in general, but the mouth especially fast. And trying to not eat things that drop the acidity, meaning lower the acidity in the mouth, right? That make it more acid. And that's like a lot of the sugars. Trying to like just stay away from the sugars is really, really good for longevity. But it's hard because sugar's in absolutely everything, right? And so like, I get it. I'm not telling people to not eat sugar or something like that, but it's, just being aware of what the factors are that lead to tooth issues, to gum issues, to, and then just being like, all right, trying to be more aware and intentional about our decisions,
Is sugar the main cause of tooth decay?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
There's nothing else really. That's it.
Yeah. That sugar. There's sugar in everything we eat, right? Man. Like we're eating anything and there's sugars and carbohydrates in everything. So even eating really, really healthy, which is awesome, you still gotta brush, you still gotta floss, you still gotta take care of what you have.
Yeah.
I've had patients ask me, like, do you ever worry that they're going to come out with some remedy, some pill that's going to make all the bacteria called strep mutans that actually cause tooth decay? And I don't see it happening. But even then, it's like, you just got to take care of your teeth. But it's amazing. We have so much at our disposal that, like, it used to be so common back in the day. Like, dude, you get a toothache, you pull the tooth.
Yeah, yank
right?
it, yeah.
And it was like, even I've been doing dentistry 15 years. When I got out, I did way more dentures, right? People that had like removable teeth.
Yep.
And just in the last 15 years, like way less. You just don't do dentures. And now if you do have a tooth loss, you can get an implant, like a titanium tooth replacement. Goes in, fuses to the bone. You build a crown on it. Like nobody knows.
So you drill a hole through the gum into the bone?
You do.
Right. Wow, it's gnarly, man.
Yeah, you do. Like there's little drills based on the size, based on the height, width, and density of the bone. And you go through the gum, you can go through the bone, and then you're basically just doing widening that little drill. And you'll you're going to put in an 11.5 millimeter implant right in this spot. And so you'll open up, go right down to like 12.5 millimeters if there's room. And then you just slightly widen it and then you torque it in, and it's wild because it like the body adheres to it, and it's incredible what it does. And it gives them a tooth. They're using it the rest of their life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, you still got to take care of it. You still got to be, you still got to floss and brush and the gum around it. You got to take care of, but we do it all the time. So
it's crazy,
It's crazy. Yeah. The world's pretty cool. Just what we can do.
All new technologies.
Health is wild. I mean, come on, Huberman, right?
Yeah.
He's been on here. It's just amazing, these protocols that we can do in our lives. And I mean, I'm a big believer that it's incredible what modern technology offers us, but still what we're given, right? Just the human body is so incredible. And we want to keep somebody's teeth much more than, hey, let's go get implants. Like, yes, it's a great option if something happens.
Yeah.
But let's do everything we can to maintain and keep what you have, because as far as your teeth, you're only given one set. But I did read, get this is wild. So I just read they can take stem cells and they can now isolate through stem cells teeth regeneration. So through stem cells, and The article said it's going to have human trials, I think in 2025. Well, like, let's say somebody lost a front tooth. Through their stem cells, they can go grow another front tooth, exactly the tooth that they lost, and then reimplant that in their mouth. Like, that's wild.
That's insane.
Isn't
that
crazy?
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not too. It's insane, but it's not. It's like I'm not surprised because everything's happening
crazy.
So fast.
I know. Like, it is such a fun time to be in a health profession, just because it's just wild, the advances in technology. There's so many just smart people. So many people are on your podcast that are brilliant,
It's crazy, man.
Everything that they've studied and learned and know, it's awesome.
It's changing all the time. There's people working on stuff right now.
Totally.
For your teeth.
Yeah, it's wild.
Crazy.
I'm curious if Huberman has anything on his book, Protocols, right? He came out with that book that I pre-ordered just to see like if there's anything about oral health. I don't know if there is, who knows? But
I'm sure though, man.
Anyway, he's got like all the best protocols for sure.
Even just that like kind of ceramic view, cinematic view he did in my whole mouth on the computer. Even that was crazy. Seeing all my teeth.
Yeah,
remember that thing? Yeah,
totally.
Like, that's like.
Yeah, we have an intraoral scanner.
Yeah,
that in 5 minutes we can scan everything in your mouth, and it is so accurate. Some are faster than 5 minutes, but literally we can have a full accurate view of your dentition, of your bite, of the wear, of what's happened.
And that's all pretty new, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just getting better. Like all of the technologies, the modalities that are happening, it's like, it used to be, oh, hey, every 10 years it's getting better, every 5 years. And it is improving by like leaps and bounds. Where it's like every generation, you're like, what? This was just out a year and a half ago. They have another one that does what? It's just like, it's cool. It's like a really, really fun time to be in a health profession, just to see.
Are you still learning stuff, going to seminars and still learning about dentistry?
100%. I love it. Like, I know that's weird, but I like geek out on teeth. And I think something that is, and I know we talked about it, but breath work and what breathing and sleep does. I know Transform Dental Sleep, what that guy gave us, which is rad. There's just so much thought, and we're understanding so much more about what breathing does. Yeah. Opening the airway, what that does to your overall health, and how that's all done through dentistry. It's where the teeth are, where the teeth line up. Yeah. That's really cool. And it's just advancing so much in technologies and actual materials that it's so much fun. Like, we've got a new 3D printer that like somebody comes in and they are what we call a bruxer, right? Somebody who they grind quite a bit at night as well as during the day, and you can wear down your teeth really fast. Okay. And so that rapid wear, one way we try to prevent that from happening is putting him in a night guard. It's an acrylic splint that they wear. I wear one. I've worn one since I was 17. I'm a bruxer. Yeah, since I was 17, I've worn a night guard. It's almost like a little sports guard, but it just fits a little bit more intimately to the tooth.
So you always grinded your teeth?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that from?
They say stress, but to be honest, I've never been a stressful person.
I know. I was going to say, like the most chill person I know. Not stressed at all.
But it's just my MO. Well. Yeah.
Well, that's how you get rid of it. That's how you. That's
exactly.
That way, yeah.
And it's always seen when people are under more stress at work, under more stress with the family.
Some people get cold sores. Some people grind their teeth.
And the grinding happens more at night. Even people are like, oh, I like never grind. And then all of a sudden they go through something really stressful at work or their family, and they're like really grinding their teeth. It's just how the body reacts.
I used to do it on tour.
Oh, no way.
When I was only on tour, Yeah. And then my wife came on tour and she's like, you grind your teeth. I'm like, really? But I don't do it. I don't do it no more, but I don't do it at home either. Just something on tour, probably stress. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I was telling you, we have these. There's now 3D printing is big. So I can scan your mouth. I can scan you in a specific bite. And then I can send that to my printer and make you a guard that's made specifically for your teeth, exactly how I want your teeth to fit at night, where I want them to rest. So if you are grinding, how it best fits your musculature and how it is easiest on your joint, but also at the same time, how it calms a joint based on how your teeth fit together, and kind of deprograms the muscles. And dude, I'm sitting there, I scan you, that goes immediately to my software, we plan it, and then I have a printer and it's sitting there and printing it. And in an hour you have it. Like it's just crazy. If somebody would have told me that 15 years ago, that's what we're doing. And it's just getting crazier.
That's like, crazy, man.
So anyway, it's cool, dude. Yeah. It's cool.
We just, we finished my teeth for now. I'm happy with them. So, cause I'm always crazy with the gold stuff. But yeah, but I got the top. So I have like 2 veneers and 2 crowns.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. So the front 4.
I took out the X, which was a big decision, but I'm really happy I did it. I just sent you a picture yesterday. I used to just have the X and then one on the side, then one on the bottom. We got rid of all 3 of those. And then had these frames on the bottom, which people freak out about all the time. And you're proud of them as well because they got a 3D vibe to them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we changed the color last week, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go there. He says, you said I don't have to get numb. Like, I'm not going to go and change the color. But what you did is you drilled out the actual porcelain in these frames.
Yeah.
And then put some new porcelain in there.
Yeah.
It was an interesting process.
It's called a nano resin hybrid composite. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, whatever that means. But it's like a porcelain. And then we did it, but then the color was off. So I actually literally walk out of Hada's office with a mirror and go look in the sun and see how it looked outside because it's different inside.
It is, totally.
Until we finally matched them.
And got it exactly where we wanted it.
And now they match perfect. So yeah, now it's just like, but it's crazy because so many people, I mean, once this podcast is out, which is out, if you're listening, it's out now, I'll post pictures of all the different
the journeys, the steps, everything.
But so many people DM me about the gold teeth, and a couple of people I know have been down there already.
Dude, the amount of people that you've referred, like, holy cow.
It's really cool so much. But it's cool that people like, now so many people are getting the gold and nobody's got an X yet. But
it's true.
But it's cool though.
Now I love what we did, and it's cool you being an artist having say in kind of what we did, and super unique. There's nobody else, I think, in the world that has what you have, right? It's a very unique.
With the frame especially.
Yeah, with the frames. And I mean, like I told you, it's hard to make Toby Morse like more handsome, but I think we made him more handsome. I mean, I think we did it.
Thank you, man. There was somebody about the tooth or came to see you, or the gold. I forgot what it was about. Somebody came down there, or they wanted to do something.
Mike?
Mike. Yeah, shout out to Mike. Just got 3 platinums. But there was something else. Somebody had a question about the frames or something. I forgot what it was, man. I was going to ask you too. Could you, I'm not going to do this, but you could add, it would just be a glue on, like put a gold, if I wanted a gold X on the porcelain, it just had to be glued on there. Like a piece of gold X. That's weird, right?
You totally could.
It would have had to been melted in originally.
Yeah, like to do it where it can never come off and you got it like really good, then yeah, you have to do it so it's kind of like intrinsic to the porcelain. Yeah. You make it inside and it's gonna be mushed in
there.
Yeah.
But has there ever been a white tooth with a gold thing on it? I've never really seen that.
That would look, I mean, dude, you are so unique.
Andy from Fall Out Boy was on here. He has a Nike swoosh on his.
No way.
But it's a 3D. It's like, it's glued on there.
Yeah. So dude, it's like, we could totally do it. We could totally do it.
The glue on thing's easy.
I would want, if you get it, come to me.
Yeah.
Because you can get those glue-ons from anywhere. But like, I would want to make sure that I got the gold for you, and it stayed on, and there's a specific.
But then it'd be kind of 3D. My tongue would be touching all the time, right?
Yeah, and there's a protocol that you have to do on porcelain to get it to stick to porcelain long term, and that's what I would want to do it right. So we had it on there as long and as best as we could.
Can my gums still recede even if they're all gold?
They can. Yeah, that's why just continual brushing, flossing, continual oral, like just good oral habits you can keep your teeth for your entire life, right? And it gets tough. That life gets hard and you forget, or things get crazy, and it's like that happens for long enough, and then you can do damage that's irreversible on the teeth.
And I can still get cavities with all my gold teeth.
You can. Yeah, but it's not...
Because it'll creep in the bottom of the gums, right? Yeah. Where there's still the bones kind of showing.
Exactly. It's actually the junction, the most common spot is the junction between the crown, the gold crown, right, and the tooth. That line, like that margin, that's the most common spot to still get a cavity. And that's why...
Sugar just gets in there everywhere, man.
Gets in there, dude. And
it's crazy.
That bacteria is so small.
So shout out to Sugar, because if there was no Sugar, you'd have no career.
to sugar.
And they're never going to stop making sugar. And you can have as many sugar-free things as you want, but there's sugar in your bread. There's sugar right now in the stuff we're drinking.
We're drinking what? Liquid Death. Yeah.
And what's the stuff in there? Element.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rich Roll for the Element packs, the sodium.
After that good sauna session, that feels nice. Amazing.
But there is sugar in there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard. Did you ever quit sugar before or try to quit it?
I don't think I have. I mean, I've done a lot of different health things. I don't think I've ever given up sugar. Yeah.
What's interesting about the mouth, I'm not going to talk all about it today, but because I had him on the pod, but I did a breathwork session yesterday with Lucas Mack for 3 hours, and he said that all your toxins are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the most toxic place. So I released so many toxins yesterday by breathing so heavy for 45 minutes that I'm going to feel totally drained. Like I was so drained after that, but I got so much of that bad stuff out of me. But it's crazy what your mouth carries.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
And why do they say dogs have cleaner mouths than humans, you think? Is that true?
You know what? I have no idea why they say that, but I remember having a dog when I was a kid. They always say that.
Yeah.
Because dogs don't brush their teeth, and like the owners are supposed to, right?
Crazy, right?
There has to be a level where they've done some sort of
research on
bacterial growth, and I don't know why they would have a less amount.
Said throughout the years and just came through generations and generations.
That's true.
Urban legend. I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, that's so true.
Where these things come from.
I totally remember hearing that too. But yeah, there's but dogs still need. I have a friend that had to do a root canal on his dog's tooth.
Yeah.
And because it got infected, right? They took it to the vet, then an endodontist did the root canal. He put a gold crown on it.
Wow.
It's like a gold fang. It looks insane.
It's kind of sick.
But anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, wild. So yeah, they still need dental work, and they're still like, I have another friend that had to extract all their dog's teeth. And so I had to eat like, a very soft diet just because there's certain types of dogs that are just more prone to decay and more prone to fractures because just how their teeth are made. And they're really common. Like by the time they're older, they've got to extract all their teeth.
Yeah, Stella had a couple fall out recently too.
Yeah.
She got older. One thing we talked about in the sauna, it's just you brought up a good point because on the last podcast, the one before this, before we came back, about regrets and how if you have a regret in your life, say it's with somebody, but then you go back and you make amends with that person, I think the regret is gone because you made amends, because you regretted what you did in the first place, but then you go back and have this moment to get forgiveness and have a clean slate with that person. Then I feel like that regret doesn't count as a regret. It's a great point.
Dude, I think it's such a powerful thought that, we're who we are today based on everything we've experienced.
Absolutely.
Right? That is who we are today. And barring really terrible physical, emotional, mental stuff, like I'm not saying that, but like regrets. If you can repair, if you can go back and then repair, that's made you who you are today. And I think give it enough time and you'll be grateful for that experience because you're like, holy cow, I'm a better person. Because if you can circle back, I was talking with a good buddy about this and it was like so eye-opening. Like, do we have regrets if we can circle back and repair? Yeah. And now there's definitely things I got to repair in my life, right? There's things like I haven't repaired everything. I still need to.
Yeah.
But if we can circle back and repair, do we have regrets? And I would want to say like, hey, I am who I am today because of all my life experiences. And I'm grateful for those, I'm grateful for the hard times. I'm grateful for the times that like, would you do things differently? Maybe, totally. Right. There's things that you would do different in your life, but just that notion of circling back, repairing, and then moving forward, I think it's a beautiful concept.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people do that in the 12-step program.
Yeah. You're right.
Go back and make amends with people and stuff.
So true.
Have that closure. And then they have like less guilty conscience about things that happened in the past. Like it's interesting.
It allows them to stay on this new path better, right? That they're so much more better equipped to, it's almost like giving yourself grace, right? Like, 'cause I feel like sometimes we're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And, that's one way where we can give ourselves grace, is like knowing like, hey, if we can go back, circle back, repair, and like move forward. Anyway.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Any more remedies?
Dude, remedies. Yes, let's go.
You have more? Do you have more?
I'm trying to think what else with the mouth.
Like,
hold on.
Like tonsillitis, or like, I'm trying to get some other things in the back of the mouth that are like.
Oh, did we talk about that last time? Like, right? How the tonsils like fold. They're like, there's crypts. There's like little folds in the tonsils. And so you get bacteria back there. And that bacteria, like, that's why people, they'll spit out these little like yellow balls. And
we did talk about, because Max had that for a while.
Yes,
and he went to the doctor.
Dude.
That's right.
Right. And
they're stinky balls.
Oh, they smell.
That's right.
They're balls. They smell terrible.
They're so disgusting.
So
they're like worse than garlic.
Dude, they're so bad. And so there are mouth rinses that are really good for that.
What causes that, you said?
So it's little bits of food that gets caught in the little crypts of your
it's like a garbage
tonsil.
Disposal.
Yeah. And it gets big enough, and those tonsils kind of push them out. And so you can get overgrowth of them and just be like, dude, why does my breath smell like that? Or why does this keep happening? Gargling is really good. I know you can actually massage your tonsil. If you get like a finger back there, you can push from the bottom up and it pushes them out.
Yeah.
And so that's a way to get them out. There's, bad breath is
halitosis.
Halitosis is tough, you know?
How do people cure that, man? Even with gum or Listerine or whatever, just
totally.
It's rough.
The worst, the chronic halitosis, a lot of it is from not what we eat. It's actually from the bacteria and the decay in the gums and teeth. And so the more that you can take care of that and decrease the infection in the mouth, the better the breath will be. That being said, there's also there's a mouth nasal connection. Yeah. Right. And so flushing the nose as well, doing like a neti pot and making sure that your nasal connection is really clean as well. Because having, people say like, oh, I got a cold, and it's just you're harboring so much snot in your nose. Yeah. And bacteria up there that can create bad breath. So making sure your nasal cavity is clean. Mm-hmm. And then, we get bad breath when we have volatile sulfuric compounds. So when, like, let's say you're taking care of your teeth, but like you just eat onions, you just eat garlic, you eat something like that. That's like, and then afterwards it's like, wow. Right. Yeah. You're like, holy cow, you got bad breath.
But what causes it though. Yeah.
Yes. Right. And it's the breakdown of the food, and like, especially garlic, onions, they have a lot of sulfur that's broken down during the digestion process, right? During the eating process in your mouth. That sulfur, it's a volatile compound. And so that's what causes the bad breath. So there are mouth rinses. It's funny. My wife and I have worked on one, for the last 3 years. We worked on a mouth rinse that we want to come out with.
One?
Yeah. We met with a couple scientists and some food science nutritionists.
That's cool, man.
It's been rad. It was on hold when we did this addition to our house, and we just got crazy and busy, but like we spent a lot of work developing a mouth rinse to help combat the volatile sulfuric compounds. Gotcha. And it's wild. Like, hopefully it'll be out.
Does Listerine do that? Those things do that?
It does. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. What isn't good, make sure that your mouth rinse doesn't have alcohol. Some Listerine has alcohol. Some mouth rinse has alcohol, and that's really drying. And the drying component to the mouth isn't good for the gums and the teeth. So if there's alcohol there.
Did she fart? She did. Oh my God. So this is a big moment. You, Brolin, so many people. She should be honored.
It's so bad.
She farted on Hada.
Stella,
she only farts on the best guest, though, man. That means she's really comfortable with you.
You were making a face to me, and I'm like,
I'm
bro,
sorry.
It is like right here.
I'm sorry, man. So if all the listeners, Stella farted once again, but it's only been a few times on this podcast.
Oh, I love it.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm so glad she feels comfortable.
There's nothing a dentist can do to control the smell of a fart. So you have your own like mouth rinse. That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just really good at controlling volatile sulfuric compounds and actually binding that compound.
Yeah.
To get rid of it.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it's cool. It's rad. We've been working on it. It's been super fun.
So it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
What about a Hada Family Dental in Los Angeles? Nah.
Dude, we'll see. Okay. We've had a couple in Orange County that we've kind of merged into my original Hada Family Dental. We help offices. I'm a part of a group that we kind of lend services and help. I think we talked about this last time. Yeah. And there's, we have almost 40 offices around the country that we help. And we do have one in LA near Pasadena. That's not really LA, but we do have one up near Pasadena. But not yet in LA proper. But if there is, I'll be there, and I'll hopefully get in a day or so and see all your friends here.
That'd be awesome.
It's a trek, and you've been amazing to like send your friends down. The people that travel, like we have people that come, from Baltimore that have come for me to do their mouth. Yeah. Like that is wild, and people that come from New York.
She's gonna come back. Yeah,
I know. I'm excited to see her. We're such a fan of her.
She's been traveling a lot too, though. Yeah.
We got it. We will definitely take care of her. My girls love her line of shoes from Vans.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, they're so good. So every time we go into Vans, I'm like, hey, she came in.
She's the best. Any more remedies you have, you think, or no? Baking soda?
No, baking soda is actually really good. It's good just to create the right balance in the mouth. Baking soda does help just remove stains on, like extrinsic stains.
Toothpaste too, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So baking soda isn't bad. Peroxide can be really good as well.
Yeah, gargling with peroxide, yeah.
I can remember when I was 6 or 7, I stayed at my grandpa's house. I spent the night at my grandparents' house, and he was like, hey, this is how you brush your teeth. And he took my toothbrush, dipped it in baking soda, and then he poured peroxide over it. And he's like, brush your teeth. And it was actually...
Wow.
It was like an old school way to brush your teeth. Like that was a toothpaste back in the day. And peroxide is good for the mouth, right? Especially if you have like bleeding gums. Like you don't want to do it all the time.
Yeah.
But if you have a lot of inflammation in the mouth, it does a good job. Another good one. I mean, it's not really a home remedy, but sore throats. Getting a sore throat.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Saltwater rinses is good, but there is a mouth rinse it's a really strong antimicrobial called Paradex.
Okay.
And it's chlorhexidine. And that chlorhexidine, if you can gargle with it during, while you have a sore throat, it's amazing how fast a sore throat
that's good
mellows
to know,
out. Yeah. So I've had patients that you don't want to do it too long. It will stain your teeth. Prolonged use, you shouldn't have it.
And sore throats are caused by what? Sickness or whatever?
Totally. Being run down.
Yeah.
You can get a sore throat with you can get it with so many different illnesses.
It's crazy how much sleep is important to everything, man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's how your body repairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sleep is so important as far as how your body is repairing itself as well as healing itself and allowing you not only to live a healthy life today, but longevity. So much of longevity is sleep, making sure that like what we're doing today will not only help you today, but it'll help you years down the road, decades down the road.
Yeah. And just one night of no sleep can just throw everything off, man.
I know.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You have any tips for flying as a dentist?
No, what helps me flying, man, you got to have a good neck brace. Like they have some that are amazing.
There's so many new ones I've been looking at. Yeah.
That like, it is so comfortable. I can sit straight up and like my head is comfortable that I can fall asleep and it's incredible.
Wow.
And that has helped. I don't do a lot of long travels, but when I do, that's been incredibly helpful. And based on how you sleep and neck shape, just try a couple of them. I just go to Amazon and we've tried a couple of them in our house and they work.
Yeah. There's so many. This Navy SEAL guy just came out with the one that my bass player has where you strap something around your forehead and it goes around the seat on the plane.
I saw that one.
Keeps your head up. It's like,
and then you fully just relax and you're out.
Yeah, your neck doesn't hurt and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's so many remedies and hacks and all this stuff. I'm looking into all this stuff for flying. There's so many things.
Totally.
One you're not going to like. As I looked it up, it said anything sour, like any Sour Patch, any sour candy, if you have an anxiety on the flight, is to chew on it and it works. Pretty interesting.
Interesting.
Have you ever heard that? Or ginger candy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
I know. It's like just eating like sugar.
I wonder what that is. Wonder what.
I bought some too. I'm going to bring in the flight just to see. I'm curious about it. But you see all kinds of stuff online, different hacks, what works and what doesn't. Everybody's different.
And flying can be hard, man, right? Just like you start to get turbulence, like your brain starts going nuts, and you're like, dude, it's hard.
But I got some new breathing techniques from Lucas yesterday about flying I could do on the plane.
Love it.
Super chill.
It's so funny. We've talked, it's been awesome when you say breathing techniques. We've used that. I've used it. Some of my kids, right? When they're anxious, when they're feeling we go through breath work with them, and that's been awesome. And it, just like Huberman talks about it, right?
Yeah.
That like there's immediate things that we can do that can lower blood pressure, like, heart rate immediately just by breath work. Yeah. And that's wild, right? And it's so cool having these like techniques and protocols in your life. That's like, hey, you're anxious, you're stressing. Like I've been on a plane where I'm stressing out, right? And just like knowing how to breathe immediately lowers that heart rate.
I know. I'm really excited to try it. Even just now going in 38-degree water, it's your breath.
Yeah.
Otherwise you panic because your heart's not going crazy. You're kind of in shock.
Yeah. No, that's
it's wild in the mind, and just everything's all like. Yeah.
It's funny that the plunge got easier for me when I started working on how I was breathing as you're in it. Yeah. And then it all of a sudden gets easier. Yeah. Right.
But it's because you've been doing it too at your house. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You prepared for this. You killed it, man.
Best gift ever, man.
Dude,
no joke.
My pleasure, man.
Best gift ever. Thank you so much.
Of course, dude. Any other things we pretty much
covered? It'll
you're probably going to text me later and say, I got these other ones. We're going to add another. We covered so much. 3.5 hours. We covered so much on this, man.
Dude, what?
So many remedies, so many dental tips. Trying to think of some other things.
Dude, I would love, I just want to have a community that we're here to help. So if there's ever your friends, you'll put my Instagram, anybody DMs me any question, anything that hey, what about this? Please, I would love to. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can.
Whether you're of the dentist, man.
Totally. Whether you're halfway across the world is fine. Still, that's what's so cool about today and social media is you can reach so many people. And I would love to anybody questions,
reach out to Hada, man,
or another good protocol or something that they're like, hey, this worked for me. I want to know it. So
it works for other people.
Help my patients. Yeah.
Because people my friend, I hit you up the other day. My friend's wife cracked her tooth, and then she was literally shaking at the dentist, tearing up in the chair because she's so scared of dentists. And so stuff like that, even for grown-ups who had maybe stuff as a kid with dentist or never really went to the dentist. I don't know. There's such a fear with going to the dentist more than doctors.
It's so true. Yeah, dentists have one of the highest fears as far as a medical profession coming to that medical profession.
I wonder why that is, man, over going to the doctor or giving blood. I don't like doing that, or I don't know. It's interesting.
I think it could be.
I think it's the sound. For me, I think it's the sounds.
Yeah. The smells, the sounds.
Yes.
It's so intimate.
You can't fix that.
Yeah. And you're so vulnerable. You're sitting there with your mouth open. You're almost just waiting for something to hurt. You're right? And it's just...
a lot of anxiety, man.
There's so much anxiety.
I'm sure there's people that love going to the dentist. And
there are. We have so many patients that are
so
awesome.
chill in there.
Yeah.
But just the sounds are pretty gnarly. You know what we do. You're always I'm sorry. The tastes are so weird. But you got the TV on the roof, which is great. But you can't avoid those kind of sounds. It's like getting tattooed, the sounds of the machine. It's just part of the process. But
it is. Yeah.
It is a lot on your mental when you hear that and the grinding and the
stressful for sure.
We took the gold out of my mouth and you're ripping out the gold and like drilling at it and trying to pull it out. That's gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's it's part of the process.
Yeah.
But you can't. Sometimes I can see it in my glasses, and you don't want. I shut my eyes. You don't want to see it. The reflection, people can see it.
Yeah.
With the wear glasses. But it's just part of it, and there's really nothing you change about that. But obviously, when you go to the dentist, you're getting something's fixed, and you're gonna be in less pain. You're gonna have better teeth, a better smile, all that. That's the whole point.
Totally.
You're not going there to feel worse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the name of it's prevention, it's longevity, it's trying to sustain and maintain health the best that we can for each of our patients.
Yeah, man.
Right? And sometimes that's through aesthetics, and it's through giving them a new bite. And like we talked about last time, like doing veneers and how powerful that is, how powerful that was for me. Sometimes it's just cleanings, right? And making sure you're getting in there.
Every 6 months, stay on it. Yeah,
right, totally. Important. It's like everybody's treatment plan of what they need in life is a little different, and just making sure they get that and doing everything we can to maintain optimal health for as many people as we can.
Yeah, and no more silver fillings, correct? No more mercury. It's done.
It's so seldom. I mean, I did them in dental school, and I think the very first office I worked at offered them, and I haven't done them since. Right? It's just...
It's not banned.
It's not banned. It's not.
People know it's not good for you. You're not supposed to use it.
Exactly. And there's just better... There's better materials out there. Yeah. And for a while, it was kind of like insurance was paying for both, and people wanted both. And now the newer materials are so much better for the teeth, for the mouth.
Yeah.
So much what we call biomimetic, like closer to what your body has. Mm-hmm. That's so much better than putting the amalgamation of those metals in your mouth. Like
are they dangerous?
Filling. They can be. The biggest danger in them, it's the mercury that gets trapped. And so when you remove a silver filling, that's when the majority of that mercury is released. So there's a very specific protocol that we follow at our office to make sure that we try to minimize that as best as possible.
Okay.
But that's really, and there's like, I mean, I'll be honest, not a lot of patients come and tell me that they feel better afterwards. I've had a handful of patients over the last 15 years that like, we take out all the silver filling in their teeth and they're like, I feel markedly better. Like it is amazing. Like my body feels better.
Wow.
And so, I mean, you don't know what that's doing, and everybody's a little different, right? But it's fascinating when that happens, and I try to get more info on it and read more. But we're just not doing too many of those anymore.
If 10 years from now they say that gold's bad for you, I can't get all my teeth taken out.
Yes, I got you.
I'm sure it's good for me.
It is. Gold is amazing. Gold has always been one of those, especially like we talked about the previous time, the type of gold that we use for yours that we always use. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's so good. The longevity of it's really good. The wearability of it's really good. And like the marginal adaptation or how the gold fits on the tooth is really, really precise. And that's why they last so long.
I'm stoked, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. So until you get another like idea of what you want in your mouth, we'll probably rock this
pretty
for
good,
a bit.
though. It looks good, though.
You look great,
I don't know what else I could do. It's like, I don't know.
Right? I mean, according to Max, he says you'll find something.
Whatever Max can say. One life, one set of teeth, man.
I love it. I love it. One life, one set
I'm
of
sure
teeth.
Hada's going to text me later, and we're going to go get some food, and then we're going to come back in the pod if we remember something. But we covered a lot, though, man. This is awesome, dude.
Dude, this has been such an
honor. Almost 3.5 hours, man. This is sick.
Dude, this is unbelievable.
This is your life, Hada. But yeah, one more time, shout out to Kingman for connecting us, man. It's awesome,
Kingman. I hope you're enjoying Austin.
I know, dude. Love you, Kingman. But yeah, man, our friendship, everything, man. It's been a blessing meeting you and becoming part of my life and my family and everything. Yeah, man.
Dude, amen. It's been like so much fun getting to know you. The whole team loves it when they know you're coming in. I love your team,
dude.
Dude, my neighbor, she follows me on Instagram, and she was out walking around the neighborhood a couple weeks ago, and she's like, I just saw Toby was in. I love when Toby's in. I love that he posts. I love seeing him. Like, dude,
that's awesome.
It's like been awesome because you've been so good at kind of documenting this process, and I'll repost it. And it's, but anyway, dude, you've had a huge blessing to me in my life, like not only just a plunge, but being a good friend. We've had so many rad conversations and going deep on a lot of topics.
Yes.
I'm a better person for it. So thank you, man. And I'm stoked on how your smile turned out.
Yeah, now I smile again because of you, and I never really smiled, man. Like I sent you that picture from tour. I'm smiling in the crowd. I was like, wow, that's actually a good picture of me smiling. Like, I never really smile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've never been like that, but I don't know. But now I do.
I love it, man. Yeah, one of our taglines is "Find your smile," and that's what we like take serious. Is we want to give people a reason to smile and for them to find their smile.
Well, I found mine, sir. So thank you.
Let's go.
Thanks for listening. You can hit up Hada. He's got 2 Instagrams. One is the Hada Family Dental one, and then one is your personal one, right?
Yeah, and that personal one I'm on 99% of the time. So
you're checking messages, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, totally. The Dr.Hada.
Yeah. Is there like any like this is gonna be a stupid question? Is there like any dental beef? Are there like dental clicks, or is there dental other companies? Is it like competitive? Is there like nothing like that?
No, there totally is.
Like gossipy and like this dentist did that. Like because the tattoo community has it, music has it. I'm sure every genre, like barbers have it. Like this.
Totally.
Is it like also like almost like in like tattoo shops you have to ask permission to have like a shop in a certain radius from it out of respect? Is it like that with dental offices too?
Dude, it is, and I don't know why. It's weird. I don't know when this started or why. I almost feel bad saying it, but this is just my personal.
I just thought about it. I don't know why.
This is my perception. So please, if there's other dentists out there, like if
and the
you
one
guys
thing
don't feel this,
you're all trying to help people.
Yes,
you're all trying to help fix people's teeth. So
the medical community does such a good job, and you go see a doctor, and they might do something different than another doctor does. They typically in the medical profession won't slam each other, right? Like won't get mad at each other. Well, he shouldn't have done this. He shouldn't have done that. He did this wrong. Like they support each other and they work collaboratively to help.
Yeah.
I don't know why in dentistry, it's kind of like dog eat dog, where it's like, oh, if somebody did something that wasn't right, it's like the other dentist will be like, well, that guy must not be a good dentist and you need to come here because this is how we're going to do that. And he'll kind of, and that
hate
was,
on you. Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy because when I got out of dental school, I started to realize it's like total competition. And that's just not the way my brain works.
Yeah.
I've never
Unless you're playing football, it's different.
Yeah. But even then, I don't work from a place of scarcity. Like I always try to work from a place of abundance. That like, dude, across the US, 1 in 3 people have a dentist they've been to in the last 12 months.
True.
Like that means 2/3 of the people in the US haven't been to a dentist. They don't have somebody they call their dentist. Like there is so much opportunity for every dentist out there.
Great point.
I just don't think it's right to like bag on another dentist and stuff. Or maybe there's something wrong. Like, dude, call that dentist individually and be like, hey, I just saw this patient. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't bag on that dentist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
It's like somebody going to another tattoo artist to get something covered up that another artist did. Something like that.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
If like something isn't right.
Yeah.
Right. And just getting their story of what's happening and being like, you know, hey, I'll do this. Like, let me go and take care of this one for you. I'll just take the crown off, put the new crown on, or do something. It's like, dude, we're all just trying to help people. That's it, right? That's all we're trying to do is help people and make sure to give people.
I was just wondering. I don't know why I thought about that.
No, that's funny, but it is interesting in dentistry, and I think we're getting into. It's happening less and less. When I first came out 15 years ago, I felt this like competition. I was like, why do I always feel like dentists don't help each other? They're like, and now it's like fully changed. I still feel it, but it's more like, hey, let's help each other. Let's be collaborative in our approach. Let's build community. Let's like, which is rad, you know, rather than looking at your next door neighbor. Like, dude, in my office, a stone's throw, there's 9 practices from mine.
Wow.
All dental.
And that's cool.
And it's great, dude. We live in South Orange County. There is enough patients for all of us. Yes, enough teeth to all pay the bills and have our lives. And that's great. There's no need to like bag on somebody or, you know, do anything.
One person has how many teeth?
32.
Yeah. So it's like, how many people are there? They have 32 teeth each. Yep. You know what I mean? It's like,
like, come on,
isn't enough. That's crazy though. Wow, man. Yeah.
No, it's funny. So we're talking dental beef, dude. Let's go.
I just feel like it's like that in every community, every kind of.
It really is. It must be something with human nature, man.
Whatever. Totally. Yeah. It's interesting, man.
Which is like that position of abundance, which I think you do so well, that positive mental attitude and coming from a place of abundance, not scarcity that we talk about, and trying to be much more empathetic. I
hear you, man.
Right? It's just powerful. It's just a better way to live.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I love about your music and your lyrics is that's what you've always been about. And it's rad. You live your lyrics. You have for
Thank you.
Decades
and you live
decades.
Your like positive dental attitude. You should gonna make that shirt, dude.
We gotta make that shirt.
You're gonna make this shirt, man. We should do a collab.
Let's do this.
Oh my God, positive dental attitude. Because I always tag that and write that.
Dude,
we should do a Hada H2O or Hada whatever. One Life, One Chance.
I'm done.
Dude,
yes,
Hada OLC positive dental. We're doing this, man. No, I'm serious, because you make great merch, man.
I love it. Yes.
The Hada's rocking his own merch right now. It's so sick. Nobody else can do that and look cool wearing their own stuff. It's awesome. That shirt's really good too. It's like thick.
I love it. Yeah, the material's been great. I love it. It's been a fun little hobby. I know we talked about it last time, but it's just kind of taken a life on its own, that my buddies who have worked in the surf industry have kind of guided me and been like, oh, hey, let me design a t-shirt for you. Let me design a hat. And it's just turned into this thing that now we have them all at the office for people to buy, and hats and sweatshirts and wetsuits.
I just started the collab. I'm freaking.
We're doing it.
And I know it's going to do really well. I'm just thinking about it right now. I don't want to say it on the podcast, but I think it'd be really awesome. No, I'm serious, dude. We're going to do it this year.
I love it. Okay. I'm in.
All right. Thank you, Hada. Love you, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Love you.
Let's get some green table. I feel good, right? You feel good?
Dude, I feel fantastic.
I felt foggy this morning from the breath work, and now I just feel really clear from the plunge and just...
I was a little lightheaded right after we went sauna, plunge. You're just like sweating so much, and that's right into 38 degree. I was like, I sat down afterwards and I was like, wow, I'm like really
I'm going to hit Huberman right now. I'm going to text him about your kid's age, about going to the plunge.
That would be so big.
You're going to meet him someday.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah.
I know he's your like up there for you too.
He is, man. I really appreciate him.
Huberman, we love you. We learned so much from you. You do so much for the world, but we got to get you the dentist, homie. We're going to get you in to see Hada for sure, man.
Him and Rich Roll have been some of my two favorite podcasters for years. So
they're the best. And then Hada, and then Huberman definitely wants to go to the dentist. He's busy too.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine.
He needs that positive dental attitude. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Peace.
All right, guys. Peace.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years to have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology. Cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.